All right, everybody. Welcome to Skeptalk Live, episode number 46. I'm your host, Udo, and joining me tonight is Shayna and lildobby666. How are you two doing tonight?
Yo, what's up? I'm just writing my Discord right now that we're live.
Shayna, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Week 2 of spring term. Woo-hoo-hoo.
I'd like to thank all of our guest viewers that we've got in the chat today. Already pretty lively. Welcome to the show. We're going to be getting started on a series of news today, and we've got a double conspiracy theory tonight. I was looking into these conspiracy theories, and I couldn't pass them up. But they're not very long, so I found 2 of them, and I'm going to bring both of them to you guys tonight.
Oh, yeah. I'm just putting on my thing.
All right, no problem. Jason couldn't join us tonight. He is ill and has lost his voice, so he can't really do anything to help us tonight. So, because, I mean, the only thing he's useful for is his voice.
Hey, Angry Cicada.
Awesome.
What's up?
All right.
Bigfoot. Oh, yes. Yeah. What's up?
Excellent. All right, let's get into tonight's news. Oh, I just missed that follow notification. Let me find out who that was real quick.
And I should have your stream pulled up, right?
I mean, if you want to see the chat, you're right.
Yeah, because I have the chat pulled up. I just wasn't sure with the other screen. If for like examples and stuff you're showing, can I see that through Discord or through the?
Yep, that should.
Okay, I can. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that should be what my picture is instead of my camera.
Cool. I'm all good.
All right.
Hi, hey Stone.
Where did it go? Stats, blog,
Hey,
features.
Madman. Hi. What's up?
Where did it go? Come on, Stream Elements.
What's going on?
Madman 2170 plays. Welcome to the Illuminati, taking over the world one follow at a time. I'm still gonna grab that one last one because I don't want to miss letting somebody know that I appreciate them joining us.
Yeah, it's cool. I get to talk to your chat. It's all good. What's up, guys? Thanks to everybody from my chat for coming by. Make sure you guys go follow him on all social media too and turn on those notifications and shit. All that shit Logan Paul says, you know.
Based on Air and Stone Owl, thank you guys very much for joining the Illuminati, taking over the world one follow at a time. That apparently is 2 at a time. Excellent. All right, so back to the news. First off, this is a fair use talk show or podcast or hangout or radio show, whatever you want to call this, and everything that we're doing here right now is covered under criticism and parody. So think about that when you go to report us. Next up, if you guys are interested in helping support the show, it doesn't cost you anything if you just click this link that I am putting in the chat right now. And that'll pre-format a Twitter message for you, let everybody know what you're doing, and that is watching us here. And our first story today...
I know he's so professional.
is leading AI experts have boycotted a South Korean university over a recent partnership with a weapons manufacturer, Hanawa Systems. So this is rather perplexing.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially with the context of that picture.
I want to know more. I want to know a little more context.
More than 50 AI researchers from 30 different countries have signed a letter expressing concern about the plans to develop artificial intelligence for weapons systems. In response, the
No!
Oh, hell yeah.
No!
That's how we get Terminators. I mean,
Honestly, okay, can I say something in regard to this? Because
Yeah.
it's interesting you're mentioning this, because I had kind of dabbled in this before prior, but I think it's interesting because do you worry, like the two of you guys, do you guys feel, and the chat too, that like, do you really worry about AI like taking over or like the singularity, if you will? Like seriously.
oh yeah.
okay, I'll tell you this. I don't worry about about them, like the concept of them doing it on their own. The problem is when they learn from humans.
Yeah.
And if you look at human history, that's what's terrifying.
Mhm.
Like, how is any computer going to sort all that out and find good?
Yeah.
That's
Well-
why I'm like worried, because
But
it's
what about if
anything
we
is,
solved like
you know, it's
morality?
created in our sort of. It's terrifying. Humans are pretty terrifying.
But what if we put some kind of? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. The problem that the worry that I have with the singularity itself is the 50-50 split, right? It is the either we successfully manage to make it something that we can morally support our new robot friends, we can hang out with them, they're now people as well, and we've just created another race to grow along with humanity, or we don't, and humans start to hate robots start to hate humans, that kind of thing, right? It's just there's a unknown quantity there, and that's what scares me.
Yes. Well, but I also feel like people like, what if we install morality parameters? Like, you know what I mean? Because yeah, there is a chance they could work around that, but it's probably unlikely. And on top
Well,
of
how
it,
do we
like,
define the morality parameters? How do you put that into something that learns, and how does that not change based upon, you know, like, okay, these are the parameters, but if you're giving it to an AI that's supposed to be learning based upon more input, and say they're in a bad situation, or we start to hate them, what, you know, what are we gonna do? I like where you're going with that, though.
It's not AI becoming self-aware and blow us up. It's them getting good at assisting other humans and blowing ourselves up.
Yeah.
Don't
Especially since
you think it's a bit?
Go ahead.
They just put us in a zoo or something, and like, humans are too dangerous.
No, I was just wondering if I wonder sometimes if it's a little bit, because sometimes I see like with more like the elderly generations, I guess, like almost like almost like a technophobia almost. And I think sometimes you see it re-referenced in like shows like Black Mirror and other stuff like that have, which don't get me wrong, like I fucking love Black Mirror, okay, I fucking love, it's one of my favorite shows.
Right.
But you have to like, it is also very like, what's the word? Like not, I feel like technophobic isn't the right word because that's very like dramatic, but like almost like it makes me just think of in the olden days where like they told pregnant women you couldn't ride on like trains because like it would like kill the baby. But,
Right.
like, it was just because we didn't understand.
Presenting with these amazing technological advances are always kind of like fucked up. Like something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Why can't we have a positive? Like,
I know.
Eureka.
Well, like, people can
You ever
walk
watched
again and
Eureka?
shit.
That
Like,
was a good show for the positive aspect of technology, which is funny because the whole town of Eureka was supposed to be owned by like the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Which even though that town, you know, I don't know if you ever watched the show. It's
No, I've seen it.
There's a little bit more to this story that can change the topic of what we're talking about a little bit. One of the things that they're concerned about, and the primary concern, I'd have to say, is not that the end goal is going to be, you know, Terminators that take over the world, but AI, as it stands, the way that AI learns is by failing massively for a long time and then adjusting itself to try and not fail, and then going as hard as it can till it fails again, and then adjusting itself so that it can keep going again. That in warfare with weapons is terrifying. Right? So you develop a weapon system that's designed to not shoot civilians. It's going to try to not shoot civilians till it shoots a civilian. Then it's going to adjust itself.
Yeah, but like Amazon fucking drone fucking things that bitch, I'm fine getting, like I want my concealer in a fucking hour, you feel me?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I'm trying to fucking get that shit fast. Like,
I agree.
You might get zapped once or twice, but hey.
Also, it's cheaper. Not only do you get it like this, but it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, right. UPS guy trying to fucking hit me with his goddamn truck. I swear.
I'm totally fine with hundreds of thousands of UPS drones flying around everywhere. Just don't put guns on them.
People are gonna try to jack them and put like fireworks on them anyway. Shit, you know what that's what's gonna do. I can't be in my butt. Like, you know what I mean? Like some motherfucker's gonna do that shit. That's gonna end up on Reddit. We're all gonna laugh about it, and the cycle shall continue.
Did you catch? Last week's episode where we had the Russian first mail delivery drone?
No.
Russia released its first mail delivery drone. It was supposed to take a package to a small village outside of the town that they were in. And it lasted for all of, I think it was a minute and 30 seconds before it smashed into the side of a brick wall and destroyed a $20,000 drone.
Jesus.
It was not a very successful test flight.
Well, Hello Murdoch points out, they go, you should also argue that's sort of the development of nuclear weapons, except with increased potential accessibility. What do you think with that?
Well, as in, it's the same kind of situation, right? Where we tested nukes all over, caused a lot of problems, tried a bunch of things, but then it's so super hard for anyone but a superpower to be able to do so. Anybody who could download the AI and put it into, you know, a PC strapped to a handmade auto turret or whatever could develop or use this, right?
Maybe turn us up a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
Somebody
Turn up Shayna and Dobby.
Yep, doing it.
Yeah. Hi, what is wonder? Hi.
Excellent. Go ahead and say something, Dobby.
Hi, hello, testing.
Shano, you want to go ahead and say something, see if that worked?
Hello, how's it going?
Let me know if that's all right, guys, and we'll move on and we'll adjust it as we go. All right.
Sounds good.
The next story that I've got is Do You Want a Haunting? Because that's how you get a haunting. Am Sharky, thank you very much for joining the Illuminati, taking over the world one follow at a time. A 15-year effort in Chicago to build a school in the city's Dunning neighborhood is underway with an unusual complication. Construction workers are taking careful steps to avoid disturbing the massive amounts of human remains that lie beneath the soil.
What?
Yeah.
Bitch, what?
So the $70 million school is set to be built on the grounds of a former Cook County poorhouse where an estimated 38,000 people...
Fuck, I'm from Cook County, Jesus Christ. For real?
Yeah.
Fucking shit. I'm from Cook County. Like, actually, in real life.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, you've got some homegrown news here.
Illinois. All right.
So an estimated 38,000 people were buried in unmarked graves on the location. Among the dead, residents who were too poor to afford funeral costs, unclaimed bodies, and patients from the insane asylum. So...
Oh, hell no.
Wait, say that again? Say that again?
So among the dead that are buried there, they were residents who were too poor to afford funeral costs. There were unclaimed bodies and patients from the county's insane asylum.
They probably sold the organs in the black market.
Yeah, probably.
You can get a lot for a liver or kidney.
There can be and have been bodies found all over the place, said Barry Fleig, a genealogist and cemetery researcher who began investigating the site in 1989. It's a spooky, scary place, he was quoted. Workers have until April 27th to excavate and clear the site and remediate the soil and relocate an existing sewer line. The school is scheduled to open in 2019, but they are currently battling with every time they start digging and moving, there's another corpse.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
But yeah.
That's horrifying.
I feel like that's going to be haunted as fuck.
I was going to say, they learned nothing from every other story that's ever been told.
Sweaty goes, it actually happens more often than you think. And then Sharky goes, feel like I defo need to sell your organ. No, it's not. You don't get as much as you think you would get, but you could sell blood, I think. But you could donate it too. But I'm pretty sure you could get a good penny for that shit too. I don't know.
Based wanted to know if you killed and buried Bigfoot there.
No, what the fuck? Y'all fucking killed Bigfoot. It's not about Bigfoot today. I'll do Bigfoot Q&A later tonight on my stream, after this one. So I'm not talking about Bigfoot now.
Exactly.
I'm staying on the topic, y'all.
Sweaty says, my grandparents' house was built on a small Indian burial ground. That's the exact phrase. Indian burial ground. Built on top of an Indian burial ground. That's like
okay, real talk.
how you start every scary story.
I feel like that's because here's the thing. Well, and the Native Americans typically do bury their dead, but a lot of times, like, I think sometimes, I'm not sure if they use cremation, but I think like traditionally, does anyone know?
Well, there's a lot of the tribes that used cairns, a lot of the tribes that used wooden structures to house the ashes of their fallen. I know that there was a clay pot burial thing that was done in areas near. Yeah. So it changes all over. This is a bunch of people who lived miserable lives and died in poverty, buried in a giant pit. So I think that
like
this
some
is
Oliver
like
Twist shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watch a little masterpiece theater here and there. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with that shit like a little Dorrit bitch.
All right. So here's a much more lighthearted story, although equally as disturbing. This is an interaction news story, so I'm going to give you guys a bunch of different options of what this object here might be. And you guys guess. Chat can play along, put the number that you think it is in the chat, and then I'll reveal what this thing really is. Is this... What? Go ahead.
I said they better make me fucking proud.
Is this fairy poop? Is it a rainbow seed? Is it a unicorn nipple? Is it leprechaun vomit? Is it a do-it-yourself snow cone? Or is it Trix toothpaste? Witless Wonder says 3. Seven Owl says 6. Shayna, what do you guess?
6.
6? You're going to say Trix toothpaste?
6. I gotta go 6.
Okay. Lil Dobby says 6. Based on Air 5. Sweaty says, I hope it's 3. I feel like it's 6. Sim Bruja says 6. If it's 3 and less than 20, I want one. All right. So this right here is a unicorn nipple. So it's a 3.
Wait, what's a unihorn?
It's an inside joke on our stream. We covered a change.org petition to change the word unicorn to unihorn because they don't have
that makes
any.
More sense.
Yeah, they don't have any corns and they have one horn. So.
Oh, well, they could have corns. You can have a corn on your foot.
Right, but can you have one on a hoof?
So we'll Google it. Does anyone's like girlfriend work at a fucking vet tech office? Some shit.
Exactly. Do horses get corns? All right. So
I don't think so. Not on their hooves.
Little man has a baby mini horse.
luck could just be a flick away, thanks to an eccentric entrepreneur's bizarre unicorn-themed creation. Danny Ruxton's lucky unicorn nipples could hit high street shops soon following a year of research and design. The 31-year-old from Larkfield enlisted with the help of a Dutch designer, Richie Van Daal, to build the prototype.
Fucking figures. Sorry. I'm Belgian, I can say it. Like, I'm not surprised this is Dutch at all. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, sorry. I'm Belgian, get off my dick. Sorry, I was born there too. I fucking get to say it. That's fine.
So I don't have the picture here because I was worried about putting the whole picture on Twitch. But if you guys Google unicorn nipple, you won't be displeased. It's hilarious.
I want to do this.
So Danny Ruxton has a new product he's hoping to launch in the market. A former mailing school pupil, he created a mobile phone app for users to create a staring competition, while he also has launched his own clothing brand Chill Comfy under his business name Ruxoten Corp. The Ocado designer manager is hopeful with his latest project, along with its mantra of flick 'em, rub 'em, suck 'em. Then it could be a lucky charm for those that buy them. Obviously.
Do you sell? My viewers want to know if you sell a unicorn nipple clam.
Will he? I don't know. Maybe. But apparently it's supposed to be kind of like.
Asking if he does.
Oh yeah. I think he's talking about. I think he's talking about the guy that's selling it. Yeah. So this is supposed to be like a lucky rabbit's foot, and in order to activate its luck powers, you flick the unicorn nipple.
Oh, I'm gonna try that. Where can I order that?
Like I said, just Google unicorn nipple, and it should come up with the info there.
Ooh, I'm gonna remember that. Be careful.
And somebody said if it's 3 and it's less than 20, Witless said, and I'm pretty sure it is less than 20, but so you should be able to get yourself. I think they come in pairs. and they look like fluffy breasts with these delightful multicolored nipples. So Sweaty Obesity says, if I can buy 6 of them, I can fulfill my fantasies. All right.
Sweaty has 6 nipples.
You had asked about what Astronaut Wrenches was about. So
yes, what is they?
I was hoping Jason would be here because he was the one who was most perturbed by our last story. A while back, we covered a story about astronauts using astronaut droppings as a food source using science. What? Yeah.
They eat poo?
Well, they would reconstitute it into something that isn't poo anymore, right? It would be...
They're eating poo.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And our team wasn't having that as a thing that they were interested in. But what if a recent study that was carried out by researchers at the University of Calgary has found a different solution with what to do with astronaut feces? Turns out you can use a method that they developed to dispose of human waste in a sanitary way that is also useful for the provision of equipment and supplies. Using special genetically engineered enzymes, the feces can be transformed into a special bioplastic, which can then be used to 3D print.
What? Whoa, that was not a turn I was expecting. So you're telling me instead of ordering all this fucking printer ink and shit, I can just use my fucking like shit?
Possibly, if this technology ends up working out.
Sign me the fuck up. Yo, let me know if they're fucking sponsoring. Like, cause for real, I'll take that shit. Like, I know you guys fucking want that shit. I want my own Funko Pop just made out of fucking shit. And excrement. Recycled.
We can put them in a vending machine next to the one in Japan.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect. Yes, poopa plastic. Oh, I can see. Oh, we still on Shark Tank with that shit.
Exactly.
Some poor guy has to load all that poop into the machine. He might be happy about it. You don't know. Don't kink shame.
That's a job you could advertise. I'm sure you could find somebody that would love that job.
The shit shoveler.
You probably have quite a bit of competition for it.
Right.
You probably have quite a bit of competition. Couple people wanting that shit.
The logistics and high costs involved with space exploration projects also mean that an absolute bare minimum of supplies can be taken. As in, a slight increase in weight can mean a huge fuel increase, and is necessary. The fuel is necessary to propel the vehicle into orbit. The Calgary researchers project to provide a solution to both of these issues at the same time, whereas food, which is waste or weight that is added to the flight already, would then be transformed into tools.
Ooh, like what kind of tools?
If they need a wrench to fix something, they would 3D print a wrench so that they could,
There's something so meta about printing a tool. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's like a very meta. I don't know, that sounds very meta. I enjoy that. I don't mean to interrupt you, but is it okay if I go grab an leave really quick? Because I can feel my jaw starting to act up, and I want to take it before it gets bad. I just want to take it to prevent it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I'm really gonna run. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I can imagine the jokes coming from the guy sitting on his bunk, eating a bar of astronaut food or whatever, and someone walks in and says, "What you doing, Steve?" And he says, "Making a screwdriver," right? Based on air says, so all their tools will be pieces of shit. Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of red, so I'm turning green. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Coco says Dobby should put the poop tool or the poop figurines on Kickstarter. Let's see. All I would know is that all I would know to do with my vacuum sealed poo packets would be to grow potatoes in it, right? Yeah. Coco also says you have factories full of people shitting in the assembly line. Yeah, exactly.
I just sat down in my chair and all I hear is this motherfucker talking about growing fucking shit out of his potato poo.
Yep, exactly.
Can you make shit? Fill me in what I missed.
There's pants. He says, gross, this screwdriver has corn in it.
No, bitch, that's your foot. That's your little foot. Your foot's got a little corn.
That's Jason, by the way. Just letting you know.
Yo, what up, Jason?
But yeah, I made a joke about astronaut sitting on his bed and another astronaut asking him what he's doing, and he's eating, and he says, "I'm making a screwdriver," right? So.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Almost like that doggy dropped it rhyme that you used to say when you were a kid. We're like, where'd you get it? Like eating chocolate, like doggy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, what are you doing? Eating chocolate? Where'd you get it? Doggy dropped it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the doggy behind the door? What's he doing? Or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I growled the last part, but just ignore that.
Base, I totally have. Yeah. So what color are the tools? I just imagine whatever dye you put into the bioplastic. Yeah.
Pants. If I eat peanuts, can someone be allergic to the tools I use?
Oh my God, that's a good question. God, someone write that shit down. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Y'all fucking get a pull from that shit.
Exactly.
Go 877 cash now. For real.
All right. The next story I've got here.
Where's T-Berry?
I don't know.
She talked about engaging in an activity with a Japanese eggplant. That's the only reason I mentioned this.
Oh, gotcha.
But I know she mentioned that willingly on air, so I know she would be.
Right.
T-Berry, if you're in here, power to you, homegirl.
What are your guys' opinions on these as food, gourds? You guys eat squashes and stuff?
I have. I love cucumber. That's technically a squash, right?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say this once, and I think it'll say it all. My guinea pig won't even eat a goddamn gourd. So if he ain't gonna eat that shit, you don't fucking believe I'm eating that shit.
Exactly. So I've never actively said to myself, you know what I want to do today? Eat gourd, right?
No, and butternut squash. Get the fuck out of here, butternut squash. You're like my waiter trying to fucking get me to get that shit so you can fucking get rid of your inventory. Nice try, motherfucker. Not getting that shit when you fucking lasagna.
Exactly. All right, so for those of you who hate eating their vegetables, it's easy to imagine that they're actually toxic plants masquerading as food. But as ARS has reported before, many of the common fruits and vegetables, spices, and other plant matter that we shovel into our mouths do in fact contain toxins, albeit a minor, generously harmless amount. It turns out that there has been a rash of problems with gourds recently. Two women in France recently were separately on two different occasions poisoned by toxic gourds, which caused them to lose all of their hair.
How do they know it was the gourds?
The gourds were tested.
Okay.
Yeah, the remains of what they were eating had been tested.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah. So the first woman got sick immediately after eating a very bitter pumpkin soup. Hold on real quick. Requent95, thank you for joining the Illuminati, taking over the world one follower at a time.
I appreciate it. Requent, yes, if you're one of my viewers in here right now supporting Skeptic, I appreciate this shit. I love you. Thank you.
So yeah, the first one got sick immediately after eating a very bitter pumpkin soup, suffering nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. A week later, she then started losing chunks of her hair from her scalp and pubic area. Her family also had some of the soup, but they didn't get as sick as she did and didn't experience as much hair loss. Similarly, the second woman ate a meal with her family that included squash, and while her family skipped the squash because it's gross, the woman ate.
Is that what the article literally states?
It says,
out of curiosity.
It says tasted bitter. That's
okay,
what they said.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice yeah, fucking gross.
Exactly. They experienced severe vomiting an hour later that lasted for hours. 3 weeks later, she too lost large swaths of hair from her scalp, armpits, and pubic region.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm curious about is how do you use she lost chunks of her pubic hair?
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say at least that's a nice perk. At least some bitches pay a lot of money for that shit. So I mean, it kind of sucks, but hey, you got Ardell,
Well, so now you get to be partially bald and patchy, which is I think possibly even worse than being bald, right?
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of science behind this, and it turns out that there is gourds being planted next to it's something toxic association with alopecia in the common plant.
And yeah, because that's an autoimmune where people can lose their hair, right? Alopecia?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like a natural autoimmune.
Right, and these these had been grown to be eaten. Right, they were specifically the normal kind that you normally do, but these they're called super bitter gourds, and people suffer what researchers call toxic squash syndrome if you eat them.
Oh my god! Well, now another fucking reason never eat that bullshit.
Right.
I never liked squash soup. I'm not eating that shit.
A recent analysis. Exactly. A recent analysis in France tallied 353 cases between 2012 and 2016. Of those, 50% were due to squash consumed from grocery stores. So, yeah, it's a thing. Watch.
I wonder if it's because someone's in the aisles just like jerking off on the squash or something like that. Because I'm being serious with you because people do some weird fucking shit. Well, and I wonder if that could like mix with the chemicals and like.
The other 303 would have been from homegrown garden squashes.
Oh, well, see, you know what? I don't unless it's your own fucking garden. Don't eat something from someone's homegrown garden. Real talk, like that scares me.
You can poison somebody with apple pips, right?
Yeah, but don't you have to give them a lot?
You do. But I mean, it's like plants.
Right.
Because they're really small, concentrated. But I mean, it's not that surprising.
But right,
I wonder if something weird went on in the soil that like toxified. Because this isn't across the board.
Right.
Gourds.
So it even gourds from the same plant do not have the same like bitter qualities. So you get, say, 3 gourds that grow on the one vine, right? The one bush.
Yeah.
2 of them will be fine. 1 of them will make you shit and lose all your hair.
Interesting.
I just don't think I was going to say, I just don't think squash is worth the gamble.
Well,
I think in this country, squash was a big thing with like it's a food that you could keep through the winter, and there's a lot of it. It's a lot of protein. You could store it. It's what you could eat through the winter when other things weren't super available.
Right.
It's why it's super associated with Thanksgiving.
Go ahead, Dobby.
I was saying that I just wouldn't fuck with the squash because I just think as far as a plant goes, it doesn't look trustworthy at all. It's not the kind of food I feel like. It's the kind of food something inside of me goes, don't eat that shit, bitch. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, nope.
It's like the orc. It's like the orc of vegetables. Looks like.
God, it honestly is. It's like the shittiest fucking. It's like, I mean, at least eggplants got like a little bit of, you know, you little Parmesan, a little, grill that shit. Put some expensive shit on there, put it on a nice plate. Honestly, I could give less fucking shit about the fucking food. I just want a nice ass plate. So.
These things are just missing the white handprint from the Lord of the Rings to be in complete costume.
Seriously. It just looked like the kind of thing that you would like snap open and it would start like a fog machine or some shit.
Yeah.
Like fucking fuming.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next story. Turns out Japan has too many police and not enough crime.
What a horrible problem to have.
Can we have some?
Exactly. It was at one point in time, it was a crime that would once have attracted little attention in Tokyo's lurid undertow. Police this week are hunting a man, and it's a full-scale manhunt, who used a smartphone to film underneath a woman's skirt. Before, this would have just been a thing that the police would have been, they would have been like, well, it's too late, can't find the guy. But now they have so much spare police force that this is totally a thing that they can just throw men at.
Wait, what?
The police are being able to investigate even the smallest of crimes in Tokyo.
I want to see. That sounds interesting as fuck.
Yeah, I've got some stats down here.
Okay, I want to hear.
One of the reasons that the police have more time is that crime rates have been falling steadily for 14 years in Japan. In the last 6 months of 2017, they set a new low after falling the previous year below the mark. Below the 1 million mark for the first time since the Second World War. The murder rate is 0.3 per 100,000 people in Japan.
Is that low or high?
That's very low.
Yeah, I'm not used to hearing statistics without being like.
Right.
So it's refreshing to hear like a nice one,
Exactly. It's roughly half the rate of Ireland. In America, where violent crime has been rising in the fastest pace since 1970s, it's 5 in 100,000. So 0.3 versus 5. And that's the ratio of murder there. For every 5 people that are murdered in America, a third of a Japanese person is murdered.
But what if people just get away with it?
I mean, that's very possible.
Because you can hide a body. There's a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying I know, but like, I know.
We'll be talking about that later. Gun deaths rarely rise above 10 in the country per year.
Oh.
Virtually one rising criminal fraternity is the elderly. Senior citizens now account for 20% of arrests and detentions in Japan. So that's a pretty interesting thing. You gotta imagine that it's old people committing crimes, so all these young police are pretty able to handle it.
Well, they found someone the other day who had his son in a cage, didn't they? Do you know what I'm talking about? It was on the front page of Reddit. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I did not see that.
Yes, and I think it was in Japan.
Based on Air does bring up a point. What about katana deaths? This article does not cover katana deaths, but I think it might be higher than their gun deaths.
Right.
Flight X goes go out swinging.
Right. In the last decade, Japan has gained 15,000 more police personnel. The density of officers per population is particularly marked in Tokyo, home to the world's largest metropolitan police force. In practice, this means lots of police attention. Petty drug offenses are treated with forensic rigor. So...
Ooh, what does that mean? Like a little slobby swab, a little peely peel?
They put full CSI into busting a guy with an eighth of weed.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's
what
that means.
What they do with the weed? Give me that shit.
Exactly. One woman recalls 5 officers crowding into her cramped apartment after she reported that her underwear was stolen from the clothesline. As they run out of things to do, however, police are becoming more inventive about what constitutes a crime, says Kanako Takamaya, a professor of criminal law. In one recent case, she says, they arrested a group of people who had shared the fees for a rented car because they judged it was an illegal taxi. So the police are now making up crimes because they can't find criminals.
Because they're bored.
I was about to say, if you steal my motherfucking panties, I'm chasing your ass the fuck down 4 fucking blocks over a fence. I do not give a fuck. That shit's motherfucking like $8.99 now at Victoria's Secret. So, unless you want to fucking give me a 5 for 25 fucking coupon, I'm gonna chase your ass the fuck down.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I think now it's probably like 4 for fucking 28.
Exactly.
So.
Intern Primus says there is a panty thief that was caught and it's online on a police video. He wore a bunch of stolen used underwear in his pants and the cops were shocked at how many panties they found on him. Excellent. I will look into that. Maybe we'll cover that next week. I got to show you the video on Discord. All right.
Up about the word panties.
Yes.
I hear men say that far more often than I hear women say panties, and it cracks me up. I don't know why. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a very manly word, but men want to say panties.
It is a joke among at my residence to use the word manties for boxers. So.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Manties.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what's happening in old Japan. And meanwhile, in U.S. criminal news. Officials at a South Carolina resort are now looking for people who have harassed an alligator by throwing carrots at him, calling the action a new level of stupid.
Wait, no. If they what the well, first off, if you throw a motherfucking carrot at an alligator, that shit's gonna come and fucking get you. So I would not be fucking around with an alligator.
Right.
Like what happened to like cow tipping or whatever the fuck? Don't do that either. Just give them like fucking granola bars or snack packs. That's what they want. They want fucking wheat thins and shit.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
Nice, fucking asshole.
They've got turn up Shayna a little bit. All right, let me see if I can. As far as I know, we got Shayna at 200%.
That's kind of surprising. I could maybe move my.
There you go.
They want to know where in South Carolina.
What I've got here is Fripp Island, Carolina, South Carolina. The island is.
What the frick?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was too tempting. I apologize. That was a little cringy of me.
The island packet in Hilton Head reports the Fripp Island Resort Activity Center posted about the harassment Friday on its Facebook page. Fripp Island naturalist Jessica Miller says that people were lucky because the alligator didn't respond and slid back into the water.
Someone should make a Facebook page for the alligator being like, what the fuck, man? Y'all gotta fucking stop that shit. You know what I mean? Someone should make a fucking...
Do you not understand what a bunny looks like? I am not a bunny.
Yeah, I'm not a bunny, you little bitches. And then I will fucking contact all the people that like tagged the fucking resort or whatever the fuck, or the fucking areas. And I'll fucking write on their shit, be like, bitch, get out of my fucking area. God, one of you guys better make me proud and fucking chat and do that shit. I'm gonna be checking later.
The Facebook...
This is an alligator?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it's, that's a...
Is this the alligator, or is this just another...
This is a generic Google image of alligators.
Oh, I thought this was the one.
No, unfortunately, I didn't find one of that alligator specifically. But this
Someone
is
used to call Coyote Peterson to go shut that shit the fuck down.
Exactly. The Fripp Island Facebook post says that they have a description of the people who threw the carrots, and that there is a fine of $200 per carrot that was thrown. The violators could also face 30 days in jail for feeding alligators if convicted, which apparently is a law that I did not know. It is illegal to feed an alligator. It's stupid to feed an alligator.
Yeah!
But it's also illegal.
I feel like it's such a bad idea. I would never feed an alligator like that.
I want those people to be put in a pen with the alligator. Like, we don't need to charge them a fine. Just like put them in the pen and see what happens.
This is what happens. Batcave 333 Gothic, welcome to the stream. Wildlife experts say that most attacks occur when humans feed, poke, or swim near alligators. So,
well, yeah, if you poke a motherfucking wild animal, it's gonna attack the shit out. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, do we really need to do a study on that shit? What the fuck?
Yeah. So this is Japanese crime level. This is American crime level.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'll just show it. Like we've got. There's no
like
crime.
The contrast?
Yeah, exactly. And then we're here so bad that we've got carrots being thrown at alligators.
That's just stupid. It's really. Survival of the fittest. I wish.
Wait, Sweaty, what the fuck? Sweaty goes, I mean, the gators won't eat the carrots anyways. LOL, it's like trying to feed pork to a cow. You had me for the first sentence, but then I feel like carrots to gator is not the same as pork to cow. Like, I feel like I'm not the only one that knows that. Like, that makes me think like the ACT test, you know what I'm talking about? Like an SAT question. It's like, wait, no. Because pork's the pig.
I follow what he's saying, though.
Yeah, I feel it. I'm just giving him shit. I'm just giving him shit because he's a hoe.
But for those of you who don't know, we all love Sweaty, but he's a hoe.
Yeah, he knows that. He's just like the tavern wench, you know what I mean? He's fine. He's used to it.
Bomb. This is two letters that are very, very, very important. An Indian grandmother's luggage had been shut down at an Australian airport as passengers at the airport were reportedly asked to evacuate, and a passenger who noticed the bag said she thought it was a joke. So this is the bag that shut down Brisbane Airport in Australia.
What does it say for people who might have smaller screens?
It says bomb to Brisbane. And it says Mumbai at the bottom, right? Turns out that this lady, this grandmother who wrote this thing on the side of her package, just ran out of space to finish out the word Bombay, where she was coming from. So.
Oh my god!
Right.
Wait, what did they get charged with? Did they get like in a lot of trouble?
Well, so the whole place got shut down.
Down a whole airport.
She was pulled into an interview room and interviewed. She said that they thought something was in there and people were panicking. They asked her to open her bag and why it said bomb. And she then at that point apologized for the mix-up and says it's for Bombay. So I think it's because she's an elderly lady out of the country and there was no actual bomb inside. I don't think she was punished, right? BMBA would have been a much better shortening. That is correct. Forgetting the words AI or AY off of Bombay is very important in the airport.
Sold sluts, man. Can't stop them.
Exactly.
They gotta fucking meme around.
Exactly. I've got a story next about something we all wish we could have done. Something that a lot of people talk about when they hear a story like this. I would have done this. This lady did do it. An Indiana teen ultimately had the last laugh after being fat shamed by a customer at a bakery.
I read this story on Reddit. This is good. This is good.
It is super good. I went and looked her up. She's not disgustingly fat or anything like that, and whoever it was just being a huge prick for no reason.
Yeah.
So Vega Blossom said she went to Designer Desserts in Valparaiso on Saturday night because they were having a sale. She waited patiently to purchase 6 cupcakes while the woman in front of her finalized her cake order. When she finally stepped up to the counter, she heard the customer behind her say, "Thank God, now let's hope this fat bitch doesn't buy all the cupcakes." So,
oh my God, I would be so pissed.
So
that person, I might punch that person, and I'm not known to do things like that.
Exactly.
That's
so what did Vega do?
Things, but or say it quietly to your friend. That's.
So Shayna, can you guess what Vega did?
I don't know. Hopefully, I want to know. Hopefully, it's good.
She bought every single cupcake.
I love it. Yeah, I saw that on Reddit. That was great.
Her Facebook post read, "I spent $45 on cupcakes just to be an asshole. Happy Easter."
Well, my question is, who the fuck makes comments about someone like you're in a fucking dessert store? Like, what the fuck? Like,
right?
I don't know. It's like, why are you fucking upset? Someone's like buying cupcakes if you're fucking buying cupcakes. Like, it's like the store's called Desserts and shit. Like, the fuck? Like, it's very strange to me. But like in general, but on top of that, it's a little ironic. I find.
Yeah, I can't.
That's great.
Yeah,
I would have
exactly.
shit on the floor.
I would have turned and looked at him and just been all like, "This is for you. I am buying all of it."
Biohazard right now, bitch.
Mic drop one cupcake, like you're gonna hand it to him. Just toss it on the ground and walk out.
Designer Desserts saw the Facebook post and responded with a post of their own saying that the bakery is a bully-free zone and that they won't tolerate disgusting types of attitudes like that. And they replied with, "If you are the one who made these remarks, unlike my page, and please buy your cupcakes somewhere else. And for anyone else who feels it necessary to be uncouth, please take your business elsewhere. We will ask you to leave if we hear things like this." Vega says Designer Desserts has also stopped by her work twice this week to deliver additional cupcakes.
That's nice. That's cool.
But yeah.
Well, and that's cool that the bakery handled it that way, that they made a positive out of a negative, you know?
Exactly. Cool. Also, she straight wrecked him.
See, why couldn't people have given the alligator fucking cupcakes or some shit? Why carrots? Exactly. I'm still not over that. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's like literally the last food I would give an alligator. Is a fucking carrot.
I can imagine them pretty much eating anything else other than a thing that's just a choking hazard.
Like literally, like a chicken nugget or some shit. Like I feel like carrots are kind of expensive. Like, I don't know.
All right, I'm here to buy carrots, not carrot cake. Witless Wonder says I'd give them to the people in line who weren't being assholes. That's a really good point. I mean, I'm not mad she didn't if she didn't, but whatever. Like, that'd be really funny. Just walk to everybody else in line and be like, "And here's some of the cupcakes that I bought, and here's some of the cupcakes."
I still want to shit on the floor. That's what I vote.
Yeah,
well, you know, like I said, get a little biohazard.
Oh yeah, if there was anybody in line behind that person, be like, "Would you like any of these? Would you like any of these? Would you like some?"
Tosis Gnosis, welcome to the Illuminati, taking over the world one follow at a time. All right. I have a couple more news stories. 4chan's at it again. So 4chan, known for I'd have to say long con games, attempting to modify things on the internet in order to get a rise out of something, or possibly like I don't know if you guys ever saw the Pitbull concert. Did you guys see that situation?
Wait,
All I have to say is, who the fuck is this 4chan? Sorry, I always think of that news clip where like they talk
Exactly.
about. I'm still amazed by the amount. Like my parents think 4chan's like a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I've tried to explain it multiple times. My dad's like, "Oh, your friend, the 4chan." I'm like, no, what? No, like, no.
The notorious hacker 4chan is at it again, right? Yeah.
No.
But a long time ago, they were one of their most famous online escapades was the rapper Bull or
that was
Sorry.
that was timing. Ooh, I like
dog,
that.
yeah.
Like I like as soon as you said don't rap for your dog went whoop.
yeah, exactly.
That was so cute. Like that was adorable. Like ooh. That was good timing.
Right. So I don't know, why am I drawing a blank? His name's not Bulldog. What the fuck? I just said it a minute ago.
Pitbull?
Pitbull. Darn. I have no idea how my brain got crosswired there for a second. Anyway.
I took a dog for you off.
Yeah. So
ultra shit.
So Pitbull had an online contest that he with Walmart to have a concert at a Walmart, right? At whatever Walmart got the most votes or whatever. 4chan, yeah, 4chan got a hold of it, and Pitbull was sent to a small town in Alaska, population of like 200 people, to the local Walmart there. 4chan took it like, or not 4chan, but Pitbull took it in stride, ended up going there, threw a huge party, hung out with everybody in town. It was super cool, right? But that's something that 4chan has done before. This time, they've taken it a little further. So Target is now investigated how laminated cards advocating for white supremacist groups ended up in boxes of diapers being sold on Target shelves. Yeah.
For diapers?
Diapers.
Jesus Christ. Well, in a way, that's almost good, because I feel like the people that would be buying diapers would be the people that like wouldn't like that stuff, you know what I mean? Opposed to like other stuff, you know what I mean? So in a way, I at least they put it in, well, yeah, no, that is still shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least, as far as the effect goes.
The Anti-Defamation League has said that it received at least 2 complaints, including Target customers in Washington, D.C., who found a card reading, "It's okay to be white." Target sincerely apologizes and shares their guest concern for inappropriate messages that they found in their Target purchase, and a Target rep wrote to Adweek. We're working to urgently address this matter and actively investigating this with our security teams. While we're not able to share specific details of the investigation, we encourage guests who may have received this message to share their experience. According to the Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
I was going to say, if someone... So they gave messages to people that said it's okay to be white?
Inside, like pre-packaged inside of diapers. And I'll explain where it came from here in a second. The cards also listed white supremacist websites and have been found in diapers from Pampers and Target Up and Up brand in Florida and Tennessee. The package delivered to a customer in Florida originated in Indiana. Pampers has not responded to a request. According to the Know Your Meme database, the phrase originated on the board 4chan. To demonstrate that the signs of with the phrase posted in public places would be accused of promoting racism and white supremacy and would cause a massive media shitstorm. So it's we don't have any information to indicate anything other than random, but the more we see this, the more similar incidents are happening elsewhere. The more we'll learn about this incident/campaign. One of the main mottos for the white supremacists is securing the future of their people and white children. And I think that this motto is to a level beyond anything anyone can imagine. I don't know if they're being ironic or just bringing attention to their ideology. So it's this stuff may have come, the words and phrases that are being listed here are... These cards may be being slipped in at the packaging plant.
Someone is saying that they're profiling 4chan unjustly. Was it proven that it was originated on 4chan?
No. But that's what the news is saying, right? This is an important thing to talk about, right?
I was like, really? Yeah.
Right. So the news is currently saying that the slogans that are being put into these cards are ones that originated on 4chan. that is not necessarily true at all, as 4chan is a repository of other sites being put into one site, right? So they may have been scraped from hundreds of other websites.
I see. I think 4chan's almost like an easy, like, scapegoat. But for real, like, yeah, the fucking babies can't even read. Like, obviously the parents make it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna try, like, I don't know, it doesn't seem very, I don't know, seems kind of lazy, I guess. You know?
Right, definitely.
Shitty, obviously.
The key point of this story that everyone should take is that you could possibly get white supremacist cards in diapers at Target.
Everybody go buy those fucking diapers so you can fucking sue the fucking shit out of fucking Huggies or whatever the fuck, or Pampers or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. All right, our final news story here. An innocent camping trip on a Scottish island has turned into what they're calling what looks like a scene from a movie after a group of friends were the subject to an unwanted rescue effort.
What?
Yeah. Someone mistakenly believed the group of heavy metal fans were sailing to the island that they went to go camp on for a sinister suicide pact.
Oh my god!
The friends told ghost stories around their campfire on a teeny island on Loch Leven on Sunday night, but little did they know, as they sat there, police, helicopters, boats, and fire crews were dispatched to save them.
Oh my god.
After smashing...
Alexa, but none of them went missing, right?
Yeah, they knew where they were at. They were camping here because they've gone camping here many times before. They're hanging out with their kids, having a good old campfire time, and then all of a sudden, lights, FBI coming through the ceiling, like, you know... after
telling scary stories, and then scary real life shows up.
Right. So after smashing windows in their two cars parked in the shore to look for suicide notes, boats made their way to the island. Like the X-Files, they were rescued. Campers David Henderson and a teacher from Glasgow, Aberdeen University, and a civil engineer, Ross Anderson, along with 10-year-olds Natalia, Tio, and Jude Anderson, 7-year-old Andrew Vasilidis, I've messed that one up real good, Vasilidis, and a dog named Jazz were all rescued without wanting to be rescued. David Henderson is a singer in a black metal band called Nyctopia, and he told the BBC, "We are just a group of friends who wanted to go wild camping, drink beer, and listen to heavy metal music." The campers set up... Go ahead.
Like that one movie. It just reminds me of that one movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies where shit like this happens. We parked the cars in the opposite of Loch Leven Castle and did a safety briefing before we rode over to the island. A woman from the historic Scotland told us that we weren't allowed to camp there, so we rode away to another island and camped there. We put up our teepee and got a fire going with lots of food. We were sitting around the fire telling ghost stories, and that's when we started seeing loads of weird lights in the sky and across the water, and then there were even more of them. The lights seemed to be coming towards us, and the dog started barking. It was very surreal, and we didn't know what it was. It was like something out of a movie, like some kind of an X-Files episode.
I would have been so fucking out of there. My ass would have already been fucking. I would have been swimming in the fucking water. Is this the friends? Is this a photo of the group?
Yes, this is the guys who apparently were taking these kids out for a suicide pact. Even though none of them knew there was no suicide pact. There was nothing to do with it. Yeah. They were just going camping with their family.
Do you know how the rumor started? Was it like one of those things like someone saw like a group of people that looked like metal people or something and they just like tripped out, like, or was it just like did someone try to like turn like a hoax on them or something?
Yeah, I was looking for that, but I didn't see anything about who reported it. The only other external actor that was talked about here, right, is that one lady from the island preservation or whatever. Right? So they said that the lady who said you can't camp here, Maybe she was all like, these guys are going to go camp over there. I'm just going to call the police and say that they're evil. But yeah. Let's check in with the chat here real quick, because I kind of got sidetracked from checking out the chat because I was enjoying reading the story.
Yeah.
Stone says Dobby's going to get shot trying to evade the cops if they ever come for her.
Yeah, and by the way, I was thinking I agreed with what Squabbly had said, that they probably didn't invite someone, not with the thing yet.
Oh, yeah, got it. That's Coco Mojo is bringing up the story from last time. Got to wake up is Jesus Day. That's how you get tasered for not waking up for Easter.
Oh, yeah.
Sweaty says, dude, imagine some heavy bass metal playing and all these police sirens around you. Yeah, exactly. They're all listening to death metal, and then all of a sudden the police show up. That's definitely got to be a high tension situation, right? All right, so here's one of our old yet brand new parts of the show. We're going to have a little fireside chat here. I've got a series of questions that I can ask you guys. And then we're going to take answers from everybody on the panel here. And then we'll ask chat the same questions and get their answers. So we just all learn a little bit about everybody. So we'll start with Dobby. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
I'm a pretty routine bitch. I don't really do that much new shit. Can I tell you something I want to do that is going to be new?
Well, have you ever been on Skeptalk Live before? Cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, this is my first time on the show, actually. That's a good point. That is a good point. That's a good point.
Yep. But I mean, yeah,
I
sure.
was going to say I want to ride a goddamn horse. And I have ridden a horse before, but I don't fuck with shit with hooves. But I thought I would give a horse another chance, because I feel like it's wrong to hold a grudge against a hoof.
Yeah.
So that was what mine was.
Shayna, when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Oh, I hate these ones where you have to have a memory. That's like so specific, time, like temporally, to pinpoint the last time. Can I do the same thing and tell you something that I haven't done that I need to do for the first time? Almost did it.
That's perfectly fine.
Last week. I've never flown a kite. Almost did it last week.
Oh.
But it wasn't quite the right day for it, but it's going to happen soon.
Yeah,
so
we totally should.
The first time I'm going to do something for the first time is going to be soon. Anuday
says that they got body casted for the first time on Saturday. Otherwise, my life is boring and routine.
Aw.
Let's see. Okay, last time I did something for the first time, I will have to say I had never left a fucking mobile phone store knowing what the fuck was going on until stop fucking with plastic. Oh yeah, sorry. Apparently you guys can hear that.
I could tell you something the last time I did something for the first time. I learned a little bit about Python today.
Oh, nice. Did you program? Yeah.
No, it was just sort of a basic overview.
Next thing you're going to be doing hexadecimal and Ruby on Rails.
Hopefully not. Fuck Ruby. Yeah. I'm just joking. I left a mobile phone store knowing what the fuck was going on Monday. It was a very pleasant exchange. I went in, I said what I wanted, they told me what it was, and then I left. And it was the first time I wasn't like, I'm going to fucking kill you by the time I was done.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else in the chat have something that they did the last time that was the first time?
I think someone was saying they were getting a cast of their bust done. Your Anu Day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my roommate. She's a good friend of mine.
Hi. Was it really cold getting the fucking cast?
Was it? Was it?
Oh, you cut out there again, Shayna.
No, it wasn't. Apparently.
All right. That's what he said. I ran an AI on my computer for the first time a week ago. You're one of them.
Right?
Dosis Gnosis says, last time I did something for the first time, bukkake last night. Okay. Well, you do you.
That's mastosis.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll go to Shane the first time. If your success was 100% guaranteed, you're never going to have to worry about losing the job and you're going to be good at it and everything's great, what career would you choose?
Running a research lab.
Okay, awesome. Researching.
Something to do with the brain cognition. I could get very specific, but
Right. How about you, Dobby? If your success was 100% guaranteed, you wouldn't fail at it, you'd be great at it, and you wouldn't have to worry about losing the job, what career would you choose?
I want to just be Wendy Williams. That's why I got a necklace with a D on it, because Aunt told me to manifest my shit, and she has a W necklace, so I got a D necklace from Amazon, so you know.
Excellent.
And no, the D isn't from fucking the D, so get off my dick.
So you're saying like daytime talk show host?
Yeah, like that, or maybe just like drop a UPS box on my foot so I could just live off the money for a long time or something, and just like look like I'm doing shit. I'm good with that too.
Anaday says space captain. Sweaty says be a successful metal band. Primus says I'm always confusing things because I am a tea drunk again. Okay. Sharky says full-time badass. Duh. Hello Murder says the last time I did something for the first time was write Ruby on Rails. And Witless Wonder says acting. Let's see. Squab wants to be a developer or in advanced medicine. A pro league memer from Coco Mojo. That would be a great job, right? Just to straight wreck people. I would have to say, if I was going to be guaranteed successful, I mean, I'm aiming high. I'm aiming real high. President. Like,
Oh, you want really?
Yeah.
Why the fuck you want to do that? Like, genuinely? I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
yeah, no, 100%.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Why the fuck do you do that? Where everybody fucking hates you all the time and shit, no matter what you do?
I'm guaranteed to be successful. That's specifically right here, right?
Yeah, but still, and then everybody's just, then you're just gonna die, and 30 years later, people are just gonna turn on you anyway. So, like, you really wanna fucking do that shit, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck? I'm
Right.
just surprised.
No, like the ultimate success for me is to be like in the history books forever, right? And I would totally be that president who is just all like, yeah, I can't do anything. Nobody's working together. Let's vote everybody out and just try to be, with the people as much as possible. Yeah.
I want to discover something really cool and be talked about forever in classes. I want my name to be synonymous with something. I want to be
I
like,
just wanna be on Big Brother,
shit
you know what I'm
about
saying?
Valentino discovered blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
yeah, that's what I want.
All right, Dobby.
I just want to be able to throw up on reality television, honestly. I'm so good with that. Like, it's all good.
If you could be...
When I was little, my thing... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean, talk is good.
Oh, no, it wasn't even important. Go ahead.
If you could be any animal for one day, what day would it be?
What day would it be?
Can I think about that for a second?
Yeah, sure.
A cat every day.
Any day, a cat. All right.
Cats don't have to do anything.
Wait, what animal or what day?
What day would you be an animal for one day?
I want to be a dog on Christmas so I can get a fuck ton of shit and chew the fuck out of wrapping paper and then also turn into a cat to knock over the tree and then come back to being human. Actually, no, I want to wait for them to clean it up and then come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I want to destroy something.
I'm thinking it would probably be... What day? I'm going to say Easter and a gorilla. So then I could be the Easter gorilla and like just wander around in kids' backyards leaving bananas, like colored bananas instead of eggs.
That.
Yeah. And then just people will be all like, and make sure that I was seen so that people would so that when the kids would have to then ask their parents, I thought you said it was a bunny, Dad.
You know what? I have a funny story that relates to this. Can I say it? It's a short little story.
Go
I
ahead.
have an experience that relates to this. So when I was a kid, I used to go to Belgium every summer, or not every summer. Well, I would go sometimes for summer, but I'd go spring, and I would go for like months at a time. My parents would send me there. My grandparents in Belgium, which, if you know anything about Belgium, it's the goddamn Wisconsin of Europe. And if any motherfucking Belgians in here and you get offended by that, sorry, you live in a Wisconsin of Europe, so get off my dick. It's cool, but still, it's a Wisconsin. I'm Belgian, so it's fine. So. Anyways, so I used to go, and my grandparents used to make like Easter the shit, because they would put like chocolate all over the like fucking like woods and shit, and I would go out to find it. But being who I was, I thought, ooh, I fucks with a little dust bath or two. But anyways, I thought that the Easter bunny was like a guy or something. I don't know. I imagined him like a guy, just like that lived in the woods, which for some reason didn't terrify me, which even though like, I don't know what the fuck's up with that. But anyways, and so my aunt, who's my dad's little sister, used to take me to this part of the stream, like some hole, like some trunk. It was like this, basically this like little patch in the woods, like nothing fancy. She would say like, yeah, the Easter bunny lives there. Mind you, I was like a kindergartner, like first grade at the time or something. She's like, yeah, the Easter bunny lives here. And, you know, you can leave him stuff and we'll come back. And, you know, they would like do little things, like leave little items there for me and stuff. Well, anyways, they forgot to fucking tell me that shit wasn't like, you know, the case. So all these fucking, I've gone through like multiple years of elementary school thinking I was fucking like tight with the Easter bunny. And I would fucking go to school and shit and take fucking orders from people and be like, I'm friends with the Easter bunny, bitch. Like, yes, bitch, he's from Belgium. Like, he comes here. And they were like, well, how does he get to America for Easter? And I'm like, bitch, I don't know, but he comes here and like, I'm gonna tell you, like, and then I used to tell people that I got more eggs because I was Belgian. It was so fucked up. And so I would straight up take bribes I would take fucking money from people. I was hustling to fucking be like, relay messages to Easter Bunny. I had a whole little business going. That's my story.
Awesome.
Then one day I found out my dad ate the fucking salad. So I was convinced that my dad killed the Easter Bunny. And I was horrified because watching my father eat the salad that I prepared for the Easter Bunny was honestly very traumatizing. And I never quite got over it, honestly. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's my story.
My grandfather, I used to, when I was very, very, very young, my parents would send me to my grandmother and grandfather's for Easter because we would all go there. And in the morning, my grandfather would wake me up like at like 5 a.m. and we would set traps to catch the damned rabbit. It was what he said.
You tried to fucking murder the Easter Bunny?
We totally did.
Jesus Christ. I'm sure your parents fucking love that. I'm sure they were such a fan of that.
I
Fucking
bet.
traps all over the goddamn house like fucking Macaulay Culkin.
Well, it was my grandmother and grandfather's lawn, so we would like set like the tree down and like stake it down with the like rope trap and stuff. Like none of them would work because he wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but he would tell me that they were gonna work, and then he'd let me go back to sleep. And then by the time I woke up, he'd go and spring all the traps, and he'd be like, "That bastard got away again." And my grandfather was a hero.
You know what? I was gonna say they should have put a little stuffed bunny or something on there or something. I would have like, it's like, you know, these motherfuckers with the elf on the shelf shit. You know what I'm talking about?
We fucking
Does
got
anyone
him,
in here have
right?
kids with the fucking elf on the shelf? Do you know what elf on the shelf is?
I do. We covered a
Elf on
story
the shelf
about a
creeps me the
giant.
fuck out.
Yeah, there's a giant one in Texas. They like their town is famous for having a 6-foot elf on a shelf.
Oh my god. See, I don't like that little motherfucker. He does. I'm no bad baby. He said it once. It looks like Jacob Sartorius. It does a little bit. Okay.
Mythocrit, welcome to the stream.
Hi,
Oh,
Mytho.
all right, you guys ready for the hard question?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with Shayna this time. Describe yellow.
The sun is that color, and I never wear it. I don't really like yellow.
All right, Dobby. How would you describe yellow? If someone said, "What's yellow?" How do I yellow?
Yellow. When I think of yellow, I either think of like my skin undertone I try to find, because I have very I always am looking for like makeup and stuff that matches it. Otherwise, if I put blue tone shit, it doesn't look right on my skin. So the first thing I think about is like makeup and shit like that. But I also think of maybe being sick, like having like if you have like jaundice or something like that. Or like urine. I think about that yoga guy that drinks his own piss.
Right.
And also washes his hair with it. He loves the urine. He's all about that
That's
life.
disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. And the weird part is he's hot as hell. Looks like a goddamn Matthew McConaughey. Only like a dehydrated version, but still. He's old as fuck, but still. Oh, yeah.
Oh, snap. Not
Thank
Horatio.
you.
Thank you very much for the sub with Twitch
Thank
Prime.
you.
My man, Horatio.
Don't forget, you guys can use your student prime for him. You can get that student prime for free and give him that prime for free, and it won't cost any money to you too. So check that shit out if you have a chance. Help your boy out.
I would say that yellow is orange that calmed the fuck down, or yellow that quit trying to be, or not, or gold that quit trying to be so fancy.
I can see that. I like the gold one. The gold one.
Yeah. Let's see. Coco Mojo says P. Willis Wonder says obnoxious and painful or tainted. Stone Owl says Gourds. Requient says Peeps. Mithril Kitten, thank you very much for joining the Illuminati, taking over the world
Yes,
one follow at a
Mithril.
time.
Mythos gonna be on my show on Thursday too, so you'll.
Cool. Awesome.
I like the name.
Yeah. Oh, apparently I do have one more question in the fireside discussion here, which is, if you have, we'll start with Dobby this time. You have $7 and 10 minutes at the grocery store. What do you buy?
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna do what I did today. That's literally my life every day. So, like, except for the without 10 minutes, more 10 hours.
Right.
I got some sushi and a fucking venti, which like is like the size of my goddamn head. I got a venti dirty chai, so because I got Starbucks in my Safeway, so that's where I got.
Gotcha. Shayna, $7 at the grocery store, 10 minutes. What do you buy?
Coffee, cream, cat food, donuts, root beer,
Gotcha.
bread, and butter.
Oh, nice. I'll fuck with some root beer. Oh, hell yeah.
I've done this probably 5 or 6 times in the last week.
Yeah, tropical Skittles.
8-piece fried chicken and an iced tea.
Nice. I like the corn dogs from the fucking grocery store too. They're the shit.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Red Baron Pizza, alcohol from Kid Doctor. Morris Miner says
Is it okay
nothing.
if I
I'm
go
in the UK.
eat?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got pissed like a sea biscuit. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run.
Sang Spell says Oreos and a gallon of milk easy. Stone Owl says Skittles. Stone Owl also says cat food. Willis Wonder says string cheese. Not Horatio says as many caramel cream eggs as possible. It is near that time of the year. Stone says fed for yourself, kitty. Kokomojo says diapers. Well, that's how you get, that's how you get your white supremacy cards. Sweaty Obesity says Walmart has foot-long burritos for $1, so I'd eat those and shit my anus out. All right. Well, the next section we've got here is our wonderful Today in Cool. For those of you who have not seen this before, this is all lighthearted stories, mostly involving adorable animals, because the rest of the show we cover some pretty, less than nice stuff. Welcome back, Dobby. You ready for?
Hi. Yes.
You ready for
Fill me in.
cute animal stories?
Yes.
Excellent. We always try to make sure there's a little bit of, nice stuff in the episode because we cover some
Ooh,
fucked up shit.
Oh.
But yeah, a rare.
Oh, it's so cute.
Coco Mojo goes, yo, it looks like Sweaty.
Oh my god! I'm gonna take a picture of Sweaty.
He kind of does a little bit, honestly.
I'm gonna Photoshop Sweaty's face onto this.
You should.
All right, so a rare owl badly injured in a road accident has been given the gift of flight again after a double wing transplant, the first of its type in the world.
That's so cool. I love that. That's so cute.
The injured little owl lost several of its vital flight feathers when it was damaged. That were damaged beyond repair, and it would have perished if it was in the wild. But a member of a public rescued the bird and took it to the Wildlife Aid Foundation, where vet Maru Urbina rebuilt both the owl's wings by grafting donor flight feathers from a deceased owl into the empty feather shafts. So they like feather surgery to the point of where they cut open the feathers and Where do the transplants come from? Think of the donor owls. It was a deceased naturally owl, died of age.
Could they give it a chicken wings?
Maybe, right? I'm not sure how cross-species grafts would work like that, but that's a possibility. Little owls are rare in the UK. The feathers were donated matched the correct location on the live wing. The vets carefully cut and angled each one before attaching it with surgical glue. Wire was also used to create artificial spines to make grafting easier. The owl's broken and damaged feathers were also removed and replaced. The injured owl was believed to be a few months old and discovered in Southall, Middlesex, flapping around on the ground. A member of the public kept it for 10 days before contacting the charity, which sent a volunteer to collect the bird. It spent a day recovering and was successfully released back into the wild the following day.
I hope he doesn't die.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I always feel like whenever they release stuff, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna die, it's gonna die, it's gonna die.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, I hope I'm wrong. But like, I'm a cynical when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just like, come on, let us keep it. Why not fucking release it? Like, I know you got to, but like,
Shana or Dobby,
have you
guys?
China took our fucking pandas. Fucking bring Bao Bao back.
Have you guys seen that absolutely heart-wrenching video where they worked on like fixing a little bird or whatever, and they finally get it back to the point of where it's rehabilitated?
Albert, a bird called Albert.
I think so. Yeah, they release
Albert,
it, and the hawk is just all.
You got it. Skeptalk. When you have a chance, check out Animal Wonders on YouTube. You and your girlfriend will think it's so cute. You gotta check out Kimosabe Porcupine. He is a character. He's an individual.
Excellent. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like first name is Kimosabe's last name is Porcupine, but he's like a porcupine ambassador.
Shana, do you have any further thoughts on the owl?
I think it's super cute. I don't know. I haven't really thought a whole lot about releasing it when we release animals into the wild.
Right.
In all honesty, except for the few instances where I know that they track them, and it's mostly with sea species that I'm familiar with that.
Right. All right. So it turns out a new study that's been published in the Animal Cognition magazine found that even our sweet fur babies are capable of lying directly to our faces.
Wait, what do you mean?
So there was a this experiment makes me so happy that this was a thing. So 27 different dogs that were of different breeds between the ages of 1.5 and 14 years were gathered together, and they did this experiment. They had two people. One person was considered the cooperative subject. The other one was considered the competitive subject. So the first part of the experiment, every time the dogs would do when they requested a treat, when they came up to the person for a treat, right? The competitive one would show them a treat and then put it in their pocket, right?
Wait, the dog got a pocket?
No, they would put it in the person's pocket. So the dog
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Where's the dog got a motherfucking pouch?
Right. So the dog wouldn't get the treat. They would know that person never gives me the treat, right?
Yeah, so it's like, fuck that motherfucker, I'm avoiding him.
Right.
Who needs that motherfucker?
And the cooperative one would always give them a treat every time that they were running their experiment. So they made him do a trick or they made him do whatever, but that person always got a treat, right?
See, all this just like dating. You guys should take notes on this. All the fucking single motherfuckers in here. See, that's what I'm always talking about, and she could take some notes from the animal kingdom for real. That shit will help you in the game, you know?
So this is where the experiment gets really interesting. So then they started to do this, the second part of the experiment, where the researchers would show the dog that one box was empty and had no treat in it. One box had a biscuit treat in it, like a low-grade, shitty treat that dogs don't really care. The third one had a piece of sausage, which was the dog's favorite. All of them unanimously loved that piece of sausage, right? The cooperative one, the cooperative one would walk up and say, "Show me where the treat is." And then the dog would run over, and whichever box they opened was the treat that they'd get from the cooperative person. The competitive person would say, show me the treat, and whichever one that the dogs box the dogs went to, they would take that treat, right? So the dogs then began to lie. Every time the cooperative person came, they would show the cooperative person the sausage, and they would get the sausage and they would be very happy about it.
Yeah.
Every time the competitive person came, they would run over and show them the empty box. So
That's
that
amazing.
so that they knew that son of a bitch who takes the treats, he gets nothing. Fuck that guy.
But don't you wonder, but I feel like isn't that just classically conditioning them to do that?
Well, I mean, they gained nothing out of showing these guys the wrong box.
Oh, so just being a little shit.
Yeah, they just wanted to fuck over that guy who steals the treats.
Oh, well, honestly, that makes me like dogs a little more, to be honest with you. That makes me respect them.
Oh, yeah. But it's super interesting study. And I thought that was something that I would share with everybody.
No, I like that.
Speaking out a little bit of dog behavior based on human interaction with a human.
Right.
So it's like, whether the human is competitive or cooperative, the dog's behavior is this or that, that's actually really fascinating.
Did they say what dogs did it more than others?
There was a little bit. Yeah, let me grab that piece of information here. I said. They had the names here.
Like, was there one breed that did it more than the others or anything like you know what I'm saying?
No, eventually all of them developed the situation. But there was one or two specific dogs that developed it right off the bat before they ever even had to be tested on it.
I see.
And
Oh,
They know what's going on. They're smarter. They're learning.
yeah, the document here is
Smell your stupidity.
yeah, they don't actually have what the breeds were. So they just said various breeds. All right. So here's the Florida Man section, and part of the Florida Man section is a little game that we like to play called Florida Man Bingo.
Yes. How fucking yes.
So here's the link to Bingo Baker, so you guys can play along. Just listen to the stories that we got going on here, and if you discover something on your bingo card, I've got the thing
Should
covered.
I pull it up too?
Sure, play along.
Okay, I'm gonna put.
Basically, the only person who can't play along is me because I've already got so much stuff on my screen that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, our first Florida Man story here. This is Fort Pierce, Florida. Authorities say a woman is blaming a windy day for the cocaine that was found in her purse.
I heard about that, yeah. But you know what, though? That's not that crazy because that could happen.
Right, but I mean, she was in a car.
Yeah.
All right,
I can see it.
yeah, WPLG reported Kenesha Posey was one of two passengers in a car stopped at Fort Pierce by police in late March. Police say that an officer smelled marijuana and that after searching the car, cocaine and marijuana in separate bags were found inside a purse Posey had on her
At least
lap.
the bitch is organized.
Right. She doesn't have her shit
I
mixed.
respect that little container store shit. Some little container store. Get that little jar for your weed. You know, the one that gets rid of the air. You want the one with the one with the orange or the green top as the little click-on thing. That's the shit. Get it for like $99.
Exactly. Keep it from getting clogged or clumped up.
Yes. I mean, if you're gonna do it, like fucking yeah.
When they questioned Posey about the drugs, according to the police report, Posey's responded, "It's a windy day. It must have flown through the window and into my purse." She was charged with a felony count of cocaine possession and a misdemeanor count of marijuana possession. She was later released on bond.
Is any of that on the bingo?
It could be. There's all sorts of things on the bingo. Cocaine I know is definitely one on the bingo, right?
Yeah.
So a 20-year-old Ovidia woman is accused of spreading her urine all over the back seat of a police cruiser after she was arrested on drug possession.
Hell yeah. Honestly, all this make me want to fucking. Honestly, I feel Florida. Like I feel like you on this. I'll get in the cop car too. Why not?
You could easily integrate in Florida.
It's like if I'm already fucked, I'm a fucking, it's all downhill from here. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Shit. Talk to my lawyer later. Fucking pissed a little bit,
Yeah, thanks, Bill. This is definitely Florida woman. I get all of the stories here from the /Florida Man Reddit. So that's where, I don't think this is unusual loot, Sweaty, yet, but there may be some coming up. So
why are y'all trying to suck him dry? Stop it. Fucking stop asking for free shit. Stop none of that. What's it fucking me? I'm on the show. You think fucking girl has some free shit here? Hell no.
No, they're talking about
cheap ass bitches.
They're talking about the bingo swear. Unusual loot, yeah. Unusual weapon, maybe. That might count, right?
Okay, got it.
Ovadio police said that they received a call at 1:26 a.m. about a woman driving a red Mazda near Haherty High School who was intoxicated. Police found McCall Leduc, 20, sitting on the curb near her car parked at the Ovadia fire station. When they took her into custody, they found a bottle of vodka in the front seat of her car containing marijuana in the back seat. She was taken into custody for possession of marijuana and possession of alcohol for being under 21. During the time of her arrest, she was placed into the back seat of the patrol vehicle and slipped. Then she slipped her handcuffs. When the police opened the back door, they noticed that she had urinated all over the back seat and then spread it all over the interior of the vehicle, including the roof.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, you know what? If you're gonna do it, you might as well get that shit real in there. Fucking real piss in that fucking, get that piss all, fucking soak that shit up. I mean, there's good officers out there and shit, but if I'm all pissed anyway, I mean, might as well be a cop ground.
Rebel forever. I'm pretty sure thank you very much.
I'm just saying that cop car isn't enough for me to touch my own piss and do anything. I don't even fucking care that much.
Top Shuffles, thank you very much for 500 biddies.
Yes.
But all right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one is not about a specific Florida person. This is about an entire mob of Florida people. So the Jacksonville sheriff's officers are now looking for a gunman who pointed, or gunmen who shot 4 people on the west side of Friday night. It happened outside of a home on Transylvania Avenue off of West Kennet Boulevard around 9. During the aftermath of the shooting, a young woman, where did her name go? The rest of this story is not applicable. One young girl applied pressure to the wound on one of the people who was shot's neck. The hysterical crowd that was gathered around got the impression somehow that she was attempting to strangle him. So,
oh my god!
They beat the shit out of her.
Wait, wait. So someone was shot, and then someone tried to help the person that was shot by applying pressure to the wound, I'm guessing, right?
Right.
And then that person that was shot was saying that they were being attacked?
No. The crowd decided that this...
So they made a citizen's fucking arrest or whatever the fuck?
Pretty much.
No, fucking Christ.
Turns out that the girl who was applying pressure to the wounded person was the girlfriend of the wounded person. And when both of them finally met up after nights in the hospital, the man who was shot in the neck told her, baby, I love you, but thinks twice about being a good Samaritan in the next high pressure situation that we end up in.
That's fucking, I was about to say, that's fucking, fuck mob mentality.
Right, exactly. So this will be the first time that we have mob mentality on the...
I would say that's a big giant lawsuit, but it'd be hard to pinpoint who's really at fault.
Correct.
I was gonna say now they're gonna fucking get a pool now. They're gonna dive and board this with fucking summer, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right. A Florida man who had pleaded guilty to child pornography now faces additional charges after a suspected murder for hire to kill the judge presiding over his case using his mother and a hitman named the Rabbi.
We need to string this guy up, and I don't even want to say on air what I would do.
Right. So this guy he was charged with creating child pornography. He's a real piece of shit, right? Like bad guy. But authorities now claim that he asked his mother to write a message down from behind bars and give it to a friend that they called the Rabbi. In the call, O'Hare allegedly told his mother that the Rabbi would know what to do. The message was, "Kill Briggs." Investigators believe that this was a reference to Judge Don F. Briggs, who was presiding over this man's case. But on a subsequent call, O'Hare's mother allegedly said that she had spoken to the Rabbi. "He knows what you want, but he can't do it," she said. The court records claim he's just a rabbi. So, this guy attempted to use his mom to put a hit out on a judge.
People are crazy, man.
That's kind of unusual weapon there, if anybody's looking for that one.
Yeah.
And then
I put child abuse.
That's at the beginning there. According to Northport Police, just before 6:30 p.m. on Monday, police and fire personnel responded to a call of a shooting at the Morgan Family Community Center. When they arrived, they found that the only person involved was there was only one person involved, and that it was accidental in nature. Police say that the 25-year-old involved in the situation is a Sarasota Police Department police officer. The officer was not in uniform at the time of the accidental shooting, but he definitely shot himself with mishandling his firearm.
Dude, that's fucking. I feel like that happens a lot now. You know
Right.
about that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a cop who shoots himself, right?
Yeah. Was it a cop or was it a security guard?
It was a cop.
Okay.
Yeah, so other police got there and they're like, "Steve, what the fuck?"
We should test police officers for steroids, I think. That's what Nikki thinks. I think it would prevent a lot of the violence that goes on, because I think that the fact they don't drug test that is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think also that they don't take psychology classes and they aren't going through psychology courses like to see how their mental state is.
Yeah.
Like we probably shouldn't be giving this amount of authoritarian, to crazy aggressive people.
Start.
But I think it would be fair for the cops that don't do it. Like it would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not doing anything,
Give them
like,
a bonus.
I think, yeah, giving you a bonus. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Then it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give them raises.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my favorite part of the whole show.
Yes.
I like the conspiracy theories, but I like showing you guys stupid shit much more. So our first item on stupid shit you could buy on the internet today is this.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
cute
I
cat
like that. I would buy
plush.
that. I would buy that. Oh hell yeah, that's exactly like when people have like stylists that they call it kitschy in Germany. So.
It's even got balls.
That's what I want. I want it for the balls. Or for the ball sack.
And
That's the best purse ever.
They got a whole bunch
Oh
of
hell
different.
yeah, it's on Prime. Oh fuck yeah.
And
Dude, this is amazing.
It's only $13.
This is the best. Yeah, I was gonna say you should get sponsored by this company. Yo, do they do sponsorships? I'm so good having merch with this shit. Holy shit.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
Or a fanny pack that goes over your balls.
Same spell says link, buying it
You
now.
can put your weed in the balls. You can put your weed in those balls. It'd be
Yes,
the best.
very true. Shayna, do you want a cat butt purse?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, the link is in the chat and it'll be found in the description after this video if anyone else is interested in it.
I think
Hell
this would
yeah.
be a great
I'm gonna do some
conversation
shopping
starter.
tonight.
Our next item is a
Oh my god! We're reading this. I don't fucking care. We're reading this. We're reading this. Sweaty, Papa's buying this for you. Would you like to read it with us, Skeptalk?
You know, I'd be down.
Okay, hell yeah.
So the description here is, with the economy in free fall and the government teetering on the verge of collapse, Jort has never been more thankful for the bunker in his backyard. But when Jort is asking what he's doing with all of his money, the doomsday prepper quickly realizes he's not as prepared as he once thought. Now Jort is thrust into the wild world of Bitcoin, a decentralized cryptocurrency that's high in demand. It's a love story.
You broke my brain. I have no idea.
What is the words underneath it? First of all, what's the
Nothing
author's
makes sense
name?
anymore.
The author's name is Chuck Tingle.
Chuck Tingle.
Oh hell yeah! Yo, does anyone know if this Chuck Tingle has a website? I want him on. We need to fucking have him on the show.
Yeah, that would be great, right?
I bet you he would do it.
It's only $2.99 on Kindle. And I haven't read this out loud yet. For those who are listening on audio only, there's a Bitcoin in my butt, and he is handsome. Kindle edition is the name of this book.
Already on it.
Is there a non-Kindle edition?
I didn't see one. Right? I think this is only released on Kindle.
Not a problem, you guys. Not a problem.
But there's also a whole bunch of other Chuck Tingle books down here, like "Slammed in the Butt" by my handsome laundry detergent. That apparently is about Tide Pods. Taken hotly by my handsome, physically manifested hot take. Or slammed by my handsome fidget spinner. So these are, as you can tell, of the highest quality.
Oh
Stone Owl says it needs a pop-up edition.
Bought it.
All right. So
I'm
this.
looking over it right now to make sure it's like TOS friendly.
Excellent. Well, we can always censor it, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I was just gonna read ahead and write down the pages that we have to censor.
So the next one is a vacuum nasal snuff sniffer snorter gold color.
Oh my god, I thought that was gonna go a totally different direction when you said snuff.
Nope.
Oh my god, you give me like a heart. I was like, he's not gonna show fucking snuff on Twitch. I swear to god, if this motherfucker pulls up some stuff right now, I'm so looking out and my ass is running.
Yeah, exactly. No, but this is
the cyber police go backtrace it. If
you're not happy with rolling up a $20 bill for the next time that you need to snuff sniffer snorter, you could use this gold colored tiny nasal vacuum.
Oh my god, I love it. Do they have them for ears? I want the wax vac. Does anyone know if it works? Because I feel like I have hella waxy ears. Like, my ears produce a lot.
I've looked at the wax vac a couple of times on whether or not to bring it onto the show, but I looked at like the reviews and I'm like, shit, this is actually serious and apparently works. So
dude, does it? I want to know how much. I feel like I'm gonna find a motherfucking bug in there or some shit, or go get a pet hermit crab or some shit. I'm about it.
All right. Our next item here is what happens when culture dies. So this is.
I would wear this. What the hell? Like, my stuff. Is this the roast dobby shot? I feel like I would wear that.
I did not think you would be the one who would definitely wear this. Okay. Well, this is the Dab Fidget Spinner Tea Cool Dabbing Tea.
Look up the Mountain Creek shoes. You gotta check out the Mountain Creek shirts. Hold on. You're gonna like that one even more.
Okay.
I've ordered a couple shirts from Mountain Creek.
That's hysterical.
I'm
gonna laugh so hard when hopefully I get to see somebody wear this shirt in the near future. I it's ridiculous.
Witless Wonder says the weird shit for sale is Dobby's wish list apparently.
Yes. Oh my god. Like type in the mountain shirts and you'll just see the brief example. You can have a lot of options. There's Abe Lincoln riding a grizzly bear. There's a couple of different options. So I'm not saying I own a few, but I'm not saying
yeah. No, I've totally seen these. These are
Hell yeah. That's my style.
All right. Let's see. You know what? Top Shelfers actually had a message when they cheered that 500 and it didn't show up on my screen, but now I've got it. It says legendary show, heart, Top Shelfers Wes. So thanks, Top Shelfers. You guys are the best. This shirt is what happens when humanity dies, as Kokomojo says. Everyday says that they want the shirt. Curry Clam says that they'd be all about that shirt. But Curry also says that I'm gonna vape and ride my hoverboard while wearing that shirt.
Wear it to TwitchCon? Bitch, I'll wear that shit every day. I fucking wear it to TwitchCon if you want.
Yep.
I'll wear it.
All right. Our next item is... So this is Simpsons licensed Mr. Burns Dragon Porcelain Shot Glass.
Wow.
This is specific as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
For only $17, you can own this thing that no one needs. You turn it upside down and it's a shot glass, and you can rest it on his head and wings, right? But who the hell needs a dragon Mr. Burns?
Somebody that's really into Mr. Burns.
Are there those people?
Well, I mean, there's like how many billions of people on the planet?
I guess. Fair.
Probably at least one. I mean, one person bought this and it's got 5 stars. There's our one person.
Right. So, Dobby, did I find something that you don't want yet?
No, I want everything except for the Simpsons thing because the Simpsons kind of scare me.
Gotcha. Excellent. Well, then I didn't fail. People are supposed
You
to...
guys,
Yep, go ahead.
I'm reading Dr. Tingle's bio in this book, and can I just read it? It's a paragraph, and this man fascinates me.
Yeah, sure.
About Dr. Tingle, ... Again, this is the author of There's a Bitcoin in My Butt, and He is Handsome. Dr. Chuck Tingle is a Hugo-nominated erotic author and Taekwondo grandmaster, almost black belt from Billings, Montana. After receiving his PhD at DeVry University in holistic massage, Chuck found himself fascinated by all things sensual, leading to his creation of The Tingler, a story so blissfully erotic that it cannot be experienced without eliciting a sharp tingle down the spine. Chuck's hobbies include backpacking, checkers, and sport.
Wow.
That's it.
Kind
Awesome.
of lost me at holistic.
Wow, and he's written a long line of books, such as Pounded in the Butt by my book, Pounded in the Butt by my book, The Handsive Pretendo Swap Joysticks and Portable Screen Slam My Butt. Late Night Comedy Show.
Legendary. What the hell?
Chuck's Living Object Tingulars Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 10, 9, Volume 10 to Volume 11, Volume 12, Volume 13, Volume 14, Volume 15, Volume 16, Volume 17. He also writes several self-help books such as Dr. Chuck Tingle's Complete Guide to Romance, Dr. Chuck Tingle's Complete Guide to Sport, Dr. Chuck Tingle's Complete Guide to the Void, and Dr. Chuck Tingle's Complete Guide to Film as well.
Yeah, Shayna, I don't think that original part of the thing was very serious. I think that this guy is just a super legend.
Dinosaur Billionaire Ass, a novel.
It's amazing.
Scary Stories to Tingle Your Butt, 7 Gay Tales of Terror. Pounded by Politics, 9 Tales of Civic Butthole Diplomacy. Breaking the Fourth Butt, 8 Hot to Trot Meta Tinglers. Some sentient food pounds my butt and turns me gay. 8 Tales of Hot Food and Beverage Love.
Wow. He's a very published author.
It's a very accomplished man.
All right. The next item I've got up here is the poop knife. And this is specifically meant to be used to unclog toilets.
What's wrong with the plunger?
Well, sometimes you need a knife. Apparently.
Bitch, your shit that dense. You gotta go see the gastroenterologist for real. That shit should not be that dense. It shouldn't be like a goddamn fucking lasagna, like fucking meatloaf.
Exactly. It's made of metal reinforced silicone and is strong and hygienic and dishwasher safe. No! Don't put this in your dishwasher.
You could use it to do cool hair parts too, little like the 90s shit. We got the zigzags and shit, like we used to do that.
No longer will I have to keep a baseball bat next to my toilet. I can always feel safe with my trusty poop knife.
If I really didn't like someone, I would use that on my poop and then I would give it to them as a wedding gift, but they would think it's a cake cutter, but it's not.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't not do that, you know?
Good. Exactly. Curry Clancakes has the exact same thought that I had when it said dishwasher safe. She has the what, or they have the what face. I don't know why I said she, but Curry. All right. All right. Let's see. The next item I've got here is the Wantis Magical Raincoat Artifact UFO Umbrella Hands-Free Charming Costume.
Super dumb.
Are you kidding me? I would so wear that. What the fuck? Like, you guys, this is shit I would wear to class. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I don't give a fuck.
You would probably be really cute in it.
No, bitch, I would rock that shit. I'll be looking like I should have a fucking Curious George, like a fucking man in the yellow hat with that shit. Dude, I'd rock that. I'd rock that as some, like, Universal Studios shit, for real. You feel me? That's some, like, Jurassic Park ride shit.
Could you imagine if I were to be wearing this? The first thing that's gonna do this, right? This is the thing that's gonna happen first, right? I'm gonna be talking to everyone from behind this bush.
This made me so excited.
I like that because then, you know, sometimes you go to a restaurant and you do not, like, have, like, the good drink or, like, the little umbrella thing, you know? You have to move that shit because it's stuck to the table. Sweaty nose because he's the fucking server. This shit, you stand on the motherfucking table. That should give you a little shade. Like, oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm all about this. I'm gonna order, like, these for all my friends. Last year, my family got bidets. This year, they're getting these.
Excellent. Here's the link to the poop knife. I forgot to put that up there. And then here is the link to this magical beast. All right. The final item that I've got on stuff for sale is the Daewoo Zipper Type 3-piece toilet sitting suit, water tank cover, and toilet seat cushion.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah. That's fucking bougie as fuck. I'm all about that. I want a gold leaf one.
Right. My only problem with this
I have so many problems.
is that there's a thing that happens when liquid impacts other liquid at high speeds, right? And that is where it's called splashback in the scientific community.
Yeah.
And
well, that's why you get a little bidet. You know, you get one of those little installable bidets that gives you a little spritz. Next thing you know, you're feeling like a fucking fresh baby walking around, you know?
what I'm saying is this thing's, regardless of how good your aim is 100% on board. If you're a guy using this, you are going to end up getting pee on this.
Yep.
Be careful. See, some people are going to be jerking off as you talk about this. I'm telling you, be careful. You're going to get some weird messages after you're done tonight. I'm telling you.
Whatever. I welcome them. Let's do it.
Yes. See, we're very progressive.
And then the other thing is, right, imagine you're sitting on this thing and you've created a seal with your butt. The smell is just going to imbue that fabric with nightmares.
I was gonna say, like, but see, I think it could be nice. You could get a pumpkin for Christmas. You could get a little pumpkin for, like, some Halloween. You could get a little bit of, you know, like a little, what are your thoughts on the cushioned toilet seats, Skeptalk? Like, are you for them or are you against them?
If they're the ones that are made of plastic, I'm 100% for them.
Right, I love them. I think they're refreshing as fuck.
If it's a toilet seat cover that is just some sort of fabric that they put over the toilet seat, I am against it because that is just a festering germ rag that is now sitting on the toilet.
Well, you live in Oregon, so I'm sure you're familiar with this, but a lot of people don't use
of words, Udo.
But don't use
a lot of people. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying don't use what? Go ahead.
Don't use toilet paper and they just use the rag. What are your thoughts on that? Because it's better for the environment, but it's a little. But
we covered that actually. We covered that last week actually. We were talking about there's a like a poop rag thing that you can buy, and that I can't do it. No way. Because
my dad's gonna use that shit. It'll look like a goddamn Furby.
But they're gonna.
I'm not fucking use that shit.
When you wash it, you're just putting it in the washing machine. Which is just,
yeah.
I mean, you don't put poop in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to hand wash it, and now I'm doing something else I don't want to do, right?
No, and then you're touching all the poo. Now it's gonna get all up in your fucking arms and your nails and shit. You little crusty ass motherfucker.
It's like something's gonna go wrong, and you're gonna get a little in your mouth, and then it's all over.
You are allergic to diapers? Well, they were lying to you, Stone. They just didn't want to spend the money, so they just used cotton ones. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Okay.
See, now one of the deals I've seen the cotton diaper services, where you have some dude who takes away your baby diaper bag or whatever, and then gives you a fresh one.
Oh.
That was a thing. That was a thing when cloth diapers were a thing. That was a service.
Right, exactly.
Towns. Do you know what I just learned in my cognitive development class about cloth diapers versus non-cloth diapers?
No, what is it?
It won't affect the eventual development of the child, but it does make learning to walk more difficult when you don't use cloth diapers. They will eventually habituate, but having it's bulky and it actually makes learning to walk a little more difficult. They do get there, obviously, but it's like a kind of an interesting. I don't know if anybody's done a study on cloth diapers versus store-bought diapers to see the difference.
So the cloth diaper is easier or harder?
Easier because it's not as bulky.
Yeah, it makes sense.
When you're dealing with limbs that haven't fully developed yet, it's
Well, and when you add in bulk to the bulk,
Right. Exactly.
And then also it was pointed out in my class, some parents will like let their kids run around without diapers on for a certain amount of time for this purpose. Just to help with learning to move.
Okay.
Interesting.
We're gonna move into. We're getting.
I'll be right back.
Okay, we're getting low on time. You've seen these ones, so don't worry about missing these. This is the section of the show where we look at some change.org petitions that are really trying to make a change to the world.
Oh my God, my classes used to make me do this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was part of, they would make me do it for my final. They would make me make a change.org petition.
I am so sure that half of the ones I've shown on this site were somebody who had to create one, so they just...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think they actually work. Like, they don't, like, I've never heard of a petition like this actually, like, I feel like I've never heard a petition actually doing some shit. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, one of our goals in life is to try to see if we can get to 100 votes, because it says, let's get to 100 here. We want to know what the hell that does, right? So if anybody feels like signing and helping us try to figure out what the hell it means, it would mean the world to us. And then if you decide that you don't want to help us, you could sign this petition, which is a petition to keep us from getting to 100. 8 people have signed it. Another person signed this one. Excellent. But
oh my God.
Yeah, this is the Illuminati trying to stop Skeptalk Live from getting to 100 votes. So our next whoops, sorry, apparently I'm getting a call at 9 o'clock at night, so I don't understand what's going on there, but
it's the fucking man, dude, trying to shut you down.
Exactly.
Like the internet police. It's Chuck Tingle.
So okay. It's very possible that someone knows where someone knows what the final conspiracy for the night is, and they're coming for me. But anyway, so here is a petition to get Donald Trump to sign a law that would make pants illegal. Pants are nothing but a disgrace to humankind. They cause all sorts of problems, whether they're too tight, too loose, not warm enough, or just too hot to wear. Together, we can end this horrible disease bestowed upon mankind by the evil serpent who tricked Eve into needing pants. Pants are of the devil. Hashtag death to
I'm
pants.
messaging Chuck Tingle right now, by the way.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm excited to hear if you ever get anything
I'm messaging him. I'm asking if I have permission to read the book and if he would ever come on my on either you or my show. I want to this is amazing, man. I just want to say his Twitter photo is him riding a unicorn. So this man is a gift from, and it's 8 followers. I fucking know. What the fuck, you guys?
That's awesome.
Does anyone want to explain some shit? How the fucking 8 of you fucking following this motherfucker? Or did you guys do that now? Or, I'm not judging. Shit, I'm almost kind of surprised.
Here is a petition to make Zuck Bucks the official currency of Earth. It has become obvious that the lizard government is pulling strings from behind the curtain. They are so dug in with power that they have become unstoppable. The only thing we can do is now submit to them. Therefore, the first step is to adopt Zuck Bucks as the official currency of Earth. The Zuck is the lizard government's most social entity, and I believe it is the best that we honor him for this opinion. or for this position. So if you ever want Mark Zuckerberg as the dollars for Earth, this is the petition for you. But yeah, let's see. Our final petition for the night before we get to the main story that I'm so excited about is to make the middle of the United States into one massive state and just call it Farmville.
Oh, God.
The middle states.
That's fantastic.
Exactly. Middle states are so lame and irrelevant. Find out where Iowa and Kansas and all those whack states is. Too much work, so we should just make them one giant state. Also, we can turn Florida into a prison state where we send all the hooligans and weirdos. Hashtag make America simple again. Hashtag only the center. Or unify the center.
Hashtag only the center. Oh, unify the center.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That's a little like... Big on it! Sorry, I just had to do that because someone wrote that in chat.
That's fine. Never mind. Yeah, all right. So we're going to move on after I put this link into chat here. And
I want this motherfucker to respond. Chuck Tingle, where are you? Chuck Tingle, please respond, Chuck!
we need you,
What time
Chuck.
is it in Montana?
10. It is 10 in Montana.
In Montana?
Yep.
This man is the most... I'm looking at his Twitter right now. Who is this beautiful man?
For our main story tonight, one of our main stories tonight, I am bringing you a tale of a murder most foul. Can either of you tell me who you think those eyes belong to?
Ben Franklin.
What do you think, Shayna?
I fucks with the Little Liberties kids, you know.
That's about what I was gonna guess. Somebody that's on a...
You are correct, both of you. This is Benjamin Franklin. He was a young...
When it's on money, you know.
Right, exactly.
Those presidents.
He's the killer, too. He's a murderer.
He was an American polymath and one of the founding fathers of the United States. Franklin was a leading author, printer, political theorist, politician, Freemason, postmaster, scientist, inventor, humorist, civic activist, statesman, and diplomat. As a scientist, he was a major figure in the American Enlightenment of history and physics for his discoveries and theories regarding electricity. As an inventor, he was known for the lightning rod, bifocals, and Franklin's stove, among other inventions. He founded many civic organizations, including Philadelphia's Fire Department and the University of Pennsylvania. So, I mean, a lot of you guys know who this guy is. He had a lot more achievements. In the words of the historian Henry Steele, whoops, I gave some away there. In the words of historian Henry Steele Commager, in a Franklin could be merged to merge the virtues of Puritanism without its defects and the illumination of the Enlightenment without its heat. To Walter Isaacson, this makes Franklin the most accomplished American of his age and the most influential in inventing the type of society America would become. Franklin earned the title of the first American for his early and indefatigable campaigning for colonial unity, initially as an author and spokesperson for London and several other colonies. He might also have another first under his belt. So our theory tonight is, was Ben Franklin a serial killer?
Yes, fucking yes. Yes. 110%. You know why too? He was a bad dad too. People don't realize he used his son as a motherfucking guinea pig. And so I don't like to, use guinea pig as a word to like explain, Ambo that has had experience on it. But because I'm a proud piggy mom, I was like, my pig passed away, but he lived a good long life. Anyways, it's besides the point. That was the one that talked. But that's besides the point. I genuinely think he was, because everybody that knew him knew he was like very controlling. He was a very intelligent man. He was a true Renaissance man. But like he was very known to like always use his son as like experiment subject, which I feel like even for the time is kind of weird. Like I think that kind of says something about you, So they're like, if you're using your own son as like the freaking test subject without him even knowing, like, oh hey dad, let's play ball. And it's like, nah, bitch, you gonna be fucking stuck with the electrical key.
Hold this kite rope.
I totally just stole fucking Chris D'Elia's fucking like, oh hey dad, I'll just stole that from Crystal Lee. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's fine.
He cheated on his wife. Yeah, well, it was the fucking olden days. I mean,
He definitely cheated on his wife with his mistress, who was also his landlady in England. For sure. That was definitely a thing. But in 1998, construction began at 36 Craven Street in London. In the 1770s, Benjamin Franklin lived at that very address. The construction work was a part of a remodel project to transform the building into a museum honoring the legacy of Benjamin Franklin. However, the project was brought to a halt when a worker replacing the basement floor found a few skeletal remains. A coroner was called in, and the remains were confirmed to be human. Further investigation revealed over 1,200 bones belonging to people of all ages, children, and at least one infant. Also,
Yep, it was Ben. It was Ben.
a turtle and other animals were also found.
I'm not surprised he killed a turtle. He probably wanted to fucking make that motherfucker into a little soup, use him as a bread bowl like some Panera shit.
I mean, that's very possible, right? The current explanation for these bones is as follows. In 1772, a man and confidant of Franklin, William Hewson, lived at Franklin's home. William Hewson was a brilliant mind whose progressive attempts to sophisticate surgery in the medical practice collided with the modern law. At the time, due to religious fears, it was illegal to perform autopsies on anything other than executed criminals. It was believed that the body that was not fully intact would have a hard time passing into the next chapter of its death. This caused extreme dilemmas for aspiring anatomists and early medical practitioners who needed a clearer understanding of the inner workings of the human body. Most anatomists and scientists of the age had to resort to arguably unethical yet needed methods of buying stolen bodies off of body snatchers who robbed graves, and in some cases murdered people.
They still do it. They still do it.
Oh yeah.
People do it, try to fuck them. They'll try to fuck.
Oh yeah, no, definitely the body trade is still very high, right?
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of communities for it too. There's a lot of like necro.
The Friends of the Benjamin Franklin House, the organization responsible for restoring the house, note that the bones were likely placed there by Hewson, who lived in the house for 2 years. They note that Franklin likely knew what Hewson was doing. Proof was demonstrated by archaeological evidence which showed that there was liquid mercury in the turtle bones and vermilion coloring associated with dog bones found in the deposit. Hewson had documented experimentation on the lymphatic systems using both of those substances in both of those animals.
I was about to ask, was he trying to do something with the lymphatic? I was about to ask that, like if he was trying to look at something with the lymph node.
He was, definitely. Hewson was running an underground school with these bodies. So that's the accepted explanation, right, for where these bodies come from. But I have some other ideas here. Let's go back to the fireside. If you were a serial killer, who would you want the blame to fall on?
Oh.
Donald Trump.
Well, the answer is literally anyone else, right? I mean,
yeah.
Right.
And what better cover is there than having an illegal body-cutting doctor in your house?
Say that part again?
What better cover for being a serial killer is there than having an illegal body-cutting doctor living in your house?
Oh, I see.
We're also, I mean, just going to mention that part of the Masonic Society. We'll move past that one. But
wait, what? Are you in the Masonic Society?
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying.
You go undercover? I couldn't. You should do it.
I totally can. It's very expensive. Very expensive.
Well, fuck. We could raise the money and fucking get a Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, if we get enough people, I'll put that as one of my subscriber goals. I will join the Masonic fucking.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll wire you the fuck up. We'll get a fucking wire on you.
Okay, so I mean, like, let's talk about the data that we've got here. You've got Ben Franklin living in overseas without his family, and then 40 people's bones were found in his house many years later, and the bodies were all cut up and all surgically messed around with, because in your basement you have a doctor who does that for you. I don't think he's a diplomat. He's an important person. Everyone knows who Ben Franklin is. How are you going to get away smuggling a body into your house?
Because no one's suspecting you, because you're Ben motherfucking Franklin. Everybody's like, oh my god, Ben Franklin. Like, everybody loves Ben. Oh, the good old Ben.
Right.
I'll never trusted Ben.
But I think
that motherfucker.
more people would be... I think more people would be more likely to answer his call to, hey, come over for tea, and then get murdered.
I'm a Paul Revere hoe just because I always thought he was the hottest one of Liberty's kids. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a Paul Revere bitch through and through. Wig caps and body pins.
And the final piece of evidence.
If we could raise enough money, yeah.
The final piece of evidence that I have for all of this, that I think that Ben Franklin was responsible for those bones, is that mysteriously, Hewson died of sepsis 2 years later after living in Franklin's house, right about the time that Franklin returned to the United States. So it sounds like a loose end got tied up there.
He invented the sorry, someone was asking in chat if Ben Franklin was well known at the time, and I'm just letting them know I believe he was, because he invented the printing press, as well as like the bifocals and stuff. So he was very well known, and I also think for the time he was pretty like, I don't know if he was like technically liberal, but I think for the time he had very like liberal views, like compared, like I'm sure like no, like what we consider now, but I think for the time it was like, oh Ben, like Ben's fucking like the Lenin, like Ben's laid back, don't fuck with Ben.
He also was the diplomat from America at that time.
Not to poke, but it was Gutenberg that discovered that the printing press was Gutenberg.
Was it? I thought it. Why did I think it was Ben Franklin?
He was electricity.
Yeah.
But I thought he made the printing press too.
No, the printing press happened long before that. It was actually what started Lutheranism.
Really?
Yeah, it was Martin Luther never intended for his philosophy to be made into a religion. It just happened to be the printing press. Gutenberg invented the printing press around the time that he was coming up with all his philosophies, and people became a bit obsessed and nailed them to different doors, and that's where Lutheranism came.
Oh, that's actually really interesting. Are you like a big history buff?
Not necessarily, but I learned that in a class, and it's fascinating. I do like history. I like knowledge. It
does turn out that Ben Franklin was an absolute wizard with a printing press, though. Looks like
he brought it to here to started using it for.
He invented special cutting techniques for newspapers and things like that. So
there you go.
Yeah.
He invented the catheter too, the big metal one.
That's terrifying.
You want to see this? Look at this photo. Look at this photo. I'm gonna send this photo to Skeptalk really quick. I don't know if he is able to pull it up, but check this shit out. This is a link to an article I found about all his inventions. Just look at the photo they have for the catheter. Looks so different than the ones you see now.
Let's see. Oh my god, it looks like a sword. All right, hold on.
Yeah, that's not the catheter. That is a lightning rod. We gotta scroll down more.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, that is one. That is the one. That is, yeah, it does look like a sword. For anyone in chat who wants to check it out, you guys gotta.
I put it on. It's on the show right now.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's the catheter.
But Ben Franklin invented this. That's something that a serial killer would do.
I was about to say, yo, you like you're taking time to put. I was about to say, I don't want to put two and two together. I mean, let's check the fucking cadaver's penis.
All right, and I'm sad that Jason's not here for this one, but I'll definitely recap with him about it. But this is our next theory here. Who created Bitcoin? And there's going to be a lot of stuff that we talked about today that just happened to be in this story, which makes me super happy.
I hope he writes me back. Chuck Tingle, write me back, Chuck Tingle. Everybody please tweet at Chuck Tingle.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can they hear us?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, no, I mean, somebody in chat just said our cameras froze, and I'm seeing that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's because I minimized I minimized Discord. It happens every time I do that. And it's, yeah, everything's fixed.
I'm not frozen. I'm just still, bitch. I'm just a twitchy ass motherfucker. I just stopped for a second. I'm not fucking frozen.
Yeah, I fixed it.
No, I'm not frozen.
All right, so Dobby, how much do you know about Bitcoin?
Oh, not nearly as much as about extent as BitConnect.
Okay.
I know everybody thinks I do fucking cryptocurrency though, because I do cryptozoology, and everybody fucking matches me about cryptocurrency. I'm like, bitch, I don't do cryptocurrency. Do cryptozoology. They're very fucking different. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, okay, go.
So Bitcoin was created. Legends say that Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto from Japan, or some say he or she might be a Finnish sociologist or a mathematician from Israel. Some think Nakamoto is a pseudonym for a software developer, Gavin Andresen. Others believe it's a Tesla creator, Elon Musk. Both have denied this claim. Whoever it is, the person behind Bitcoin has never given an interview. In 2008, Nakamoto published an online open source paper introducing a new form of digital currency designed to be used without the need for a central bank. But who really is Nakamoto? To this date, the inventor of Bitcoin has never been verified, right?
Yeah.
So this is Dan Kaminsky. Dan is that hacker. If you remember any show you've ever seen, any movie you've ever seen, and they're always talking about that one hacker who's the best, right? That's Dan.
This is
Yeah.
this guy.
This is IRL, the best hacker. He discovered, not necessarily even just hacker, but he is that guy who can go through anything that needs to be gone through. He was the man who found the vulnerabilities in that changed the internet in I want to say it was 2006. The entire internet had to change. He found the vulnerability that they had, and then in order to get everyone to make the change so that everyone would be safe, he told all of the people who controlled the way that DNS worked, I will be releasing this vulnerability in 30 days if you don't change the world. And then they did. Because he's that guy, right?
Yeah.
So Dan was the man who could find the vulnerabilities in Bitcoin if anyone was going to. When Dan took on Bitcoin, he said that the code was perfect to a scary level. Human developers make mistakes, even tiny ones. The code could have taken a huge amount of time and a huge amount of people to develop and test it to the perfect level that it was at. It might not even be possible to create by humans.
I knew you were going there. That's compelling.
Well, it makes me think of that Reddit post, which I don't want to take it, I don't want to change the
I'm
subject.
getting goosebumps.
I don't want to change the subject,
No,
but
go ahead.
I know about a Reddit thing that I can look up what the name of it is and let you know. But there's a Reddit thing that also kind of support this theory too.
I'm down for more support at any time. So
You would like this.
instead, could it be possible? Yeah, Satine is there. That this code was generated by a highly advanced artificial intelligence. If you think about
It
it,
me, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
But which one? Who?
yeah, exactly. So
Or
Bitcoin,
what?
if you think about it, just kind of happened, right? It just out of nowhere, 2008, all of a sudden, there's Bitcoin. Imagine for a second how much code, how much tech is really out there. Could a rogue AI have gotten access to the internet and then planted the seed of Bitcoin?
Trying to find what the name of this mystery was because it's so perfect for this. Oh my god.
Originally, go ahead.
I wanted to address, so chat, it was based on air. People misunderstand AI. It's not an artificial human like everyone thinks. It's just a smart tool. That might not be inaccurate, but that's what makes it scary, though. If it was an artificial human, you'd think that morality would be part of it, but it's a smart tool that might learn, like we were explaining in the beginning of the show, like what our fear of AI might be. And it's, as Udo said, the singularity, the possibility of it going very, very wrong. Because AI is based upon learning what we know. Well, if it's given everything that humans have ever done, that's it's a little frightening.
Even if it is a tool,
a lot of war in our history, and
if that
terrible things to people.
Yeah, even if it is a tool, and that tool's purpose, right? Tools have a purpose. If that tool's purpose is to get better, then this would be one way of going about it. Originally, Bitcoin mining was very slow. You would get your home computer and you would put it up. You would just start putting mining software on it. You'd wait a week and come back and learn you had a coin, right? And you'd be like, cool, I earned 6 cents. And not a lot of people would be doing it. But right now, if you think about a story we covered a couple months ago, Iceland this year is expecting to use more power on Bitcoin farming than it's planning on powering every home in Iceland.
Oh my God.
This picture you guys see right here is a real Bitcoin farm. All of those are high-powered Bitcoin farming machines who live just to try and harvest Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So this is...
I want to say I'm pro AI, by the way. I'm realistically fearful of it. It's not fearful enough that I don't want it to happen. I'd say bring it on.
Yeah. Well, and I know it's a controversial thing because some people are very against it because of jobs and stuff. But my whole thing is you can't tell an engineer to not make stuff, you know?
When I've had bring up this conversation with a lot of people, they freak out. There's a serious cognitive dissonance where they can't.
That's technophobia. It's legit technophobia.
It's like they can't. It's like no, and they'll jump to the jobs that are gonna get taken first. They'll never do this. They'll never take this. It's like, you don't think that big business, the moment they figure out that this is cheaper and more cost effective, I mean, that's how industrialization happened. That's how we get to where we are now. You don't think that's what they're going to do in the future? Like, we don't have to pay humans. We can just build this machine that's going to do it.
And humans will have to adopt or adapt, right?
Adapt,
yeah. And if you don't, well, that sucks for you.
Yeah. Well, and I think, also, too, is I think technology can be used to help a lot of people that would not otherwise have access to education or other shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in a way, I think technology, in a way, is the ultimate. Homes. Well, people always say that guns are the ultimate equalizer, but I actually think computers, in a way, our internet kind of is. Because if you have access to the internet, you basically kind of learn whatever the fuck you want, and that's going to fuck over a lot of fucking super high up people. You know what I mean? That's gonna, I think, almost fuck up a lot more rich people than it is poor people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think long term, I think.
So assume that this theory is correct. The question that would immediately come up is why? Why would an AI attempt to create a coin, right? Although it does increase the amount of processing power that exists, kind of, flexing it's like working out for something. It's getting better and better because more and more people are adding more and more ability to the internet to be able to do something. But if this AI, it could basically easily take over if it caused a collapse of all other currencies, right? If Bitcoin was the only thing that you could use, the thing that invented Bitcoin kind of controls everything. So that's the theory, is that Bitcoin may have been created by a rogue AI. And I like that theory deeply.
I think that's a definite chance, definitely. I mean, I think it could happen. Well, it's like with the whole A858 fucking Reddit post. How, that would probably be, it's almost too big to get into now. I almost think you should dedicate a whole day to that. Skeptalk, because it's something, especially I was going to do something on it, but honestly, as someone that doesn't know how to program, I feel like I wouldn't do it justice. So I think as a programmer, you would get you'd be able to explain it a lot better than I could. I sent you an article on it, but there's whole fucking subreddits. And so, you could probably get someone on one of those subreddits to straight up come on your show and talk about it.
Ben, thank you very much for the lurk.
Yay.
But
what Sweaty Obesity says about the machine program to stimulate a human and specialize in certain field like medicine. So they're actually, machine learning is a tool that we're starting to recognize. It's basically, I would say it's like a closed AI system because it needs to be able to learn based on the information you put in it. But being able to, like, one thing that they're trying to do is map all of the neurons in the brain, all the connections. There are billions of them. This isn't something, the team that's working on this, like physically by hand, won't get done with this in their lifetime. However, if we can implement machine learning, it could happen like that. Then that's what we're attempting to do, and it's kind of an amazing thing. So yeah, the amount of help that it's pretty fucking rad, actually, what's happening.
But
Like, I think it's amazing. Like, yeah.
So that brings me to everything that I had today. Actually, I'm going to leave it back up on the last one. That last image looks good instead of just a blank screen.
It does look good.
But yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you should definitely check out the A858 Skeptalk. I definitely know a lot of people would be interested in it. Like, and it's really interesting. The farther you go down the rabbit hole, the weirder it gets.
Oh, and I'm totally down for those.
Yeah.
And then we won't have a show Thursday. It'll be one of the first times that we haven't had a show in a long time without being banned. I'll be out of town for starting Thursday. So, but the next time that we come back will be on the 17th, and we're going to be covering a conspiracy theory that will apparently take place on the 18th of April. So we're gonna, one day before the conspiracy theory, we're gonna cover what it's about and what's supposed to happen, and then on the 19th. We're going to cover what happened.
Are you going to do it till midnight, like a countdown?
That would be interesting. I admit that's very possible, yeah. Even if it just
then if you die on
devolves.
stream, that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, everybody else will die too if that's the big deal, so.
Yeah, my birthday would go out too.
Exactly. But.
It's my birthday in 3 days.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
I was just like, holy shit, that's 3 days away.
Smoking Cyberman says, anybody watched the documentary Due to Test the Computer the other day? It's about AI and dangers. Musk pimped it heavily. I am pro AI myself. I have not, and that sounds awesome. I'll definitely take a look. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us today, Dobby. Did you enjoy your first time on Skeptalk?
I had a fucking blast. I had a fucking blast. I love this. This is a really cool fucking chance. I got to meet some new people, got to kick it, got to meet Jaina. So I'm really glad you invited me. Thank you.
Jaina, also, thank you very much for joining us. It's always great.
Of course.
Yes, they're saying that you're a friggin' great show.
Excellent.
I know. Well, you guys make sure you turn on his notifications, follow him, all that good shit. You know, help him out. Especially hard for guys on here too, because they get fucking a lot of times get overshadowed by all these hot bitches. So, you know, give him some love. Give him some love, especially since he's starting out.
Excellent. I appreciate the positive messages there. Let's see. We always go do a raid. Did you want? Are you going to be doing a stream after this, Dobby?
Yeah, but I gotta go eat a motherfucking taquito. I also got some 7-Eleven sushi I need to finish first, and then I'm gonna come and do a live on my channel.
Okay. Well then, I'll tweet out when I'm live. Okay, we'll do a different raid then.
Yeah. Go give someone a raid. I'll be on in a little bit though.
Cool.
I'll be on in like 15 minutes.
Excellent. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find another either like talk show that possibly has low viewers. Smoking Cyberman, welcome to the Illuminati. Thank you for following. Taking over the world, one follow at a time. Forgot that part. Almost there. All right. We've got... There's a wrestling podcast. Oh,
is it all good if I go?
Yep, you should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, raid Aphrodite. Raid Aphrodite.
Okay, is Ant doing?
Yeah, go raid Ant.
We'll do that.
Okay, love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
All right. And Fro Diet. There we go. Make sure I got the name right. I don't want to spell it incorrectly. Go somewhere else completely different. All right. Well, here we go. This guy is a very entertaining streamer, by the way. He does tarot readings on his stream. So if you if you don't believe in tarot or are a little skeptical about it, it's still really fun to watch. He's not oppressive or anything about it. It's super fun. So, all right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Shayna, thank you again.
Absolutely. Night.
Later.